And we are live. Hello everyone, welcome to the Alien Spaceship stream. You can be watching from anywhere around the country or the world, and I really appreciate every single one of you. Coming to you from the Spaceship Studios from a galaxy far, far away. Alright, so I'm going to be going over here. Hello everybody, it is me, Alien Spaceship. I hope everybody's had a good day and having a good evening. And what we'll be continuing now is reactions to the Johnny Depp trial that we've been doing, and quite a few, having a good audience. We've been doing well with that. I appreciate the commentary from chat and support from everybody. Yeah, so we watching a trial today, and there was Weinstein, which was one of the YSL lawyers, was in this new case with something else, and the chat was very funny about their commentary about that trial, which is going on, in this time period. Yeah, and also we're looking into the tropical development of Erin as well. We're doing that too. All right, and hello Anna, it is great to see you. Welcome to the stream. Shout the bubbles in the background. All right. So now switching over to the other window over here. All right. Shout out to the Spaceship Cats, and let's go over here. All right. When the other ones come, we'll have the other part of it. All right, this is the business manager. We'll look at this, and while the other ones come through, we'll go back. We'll do what we did yesterday. All right. Okay.
White.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. White.
Good afternoon, Counselor.
Will you state your full name for the record?
Yes, Edward White,
Where do you reside?
Los Angeles, California.
How are you employed?
Many years ago, I founded Edward White & Company, Certified Public Accountants, and I am the managing and senior partner of the firm.
What is a certified public accounting firm?
A certified public accounting firm is authorized by a particular state, in my case, California, to audit financial information and to certify the statements related thereto.
What's the nature of the work that's done at Edward White & Company?
It's diversified. It includes providing tax and related compliance services, that is to do the tax returns for the clients. That's both fiduciary, corporate, individual, as well as partnership work. We also are involved in providing financial statements for financial institutions and for governmental agencies. We, in addition to that, have a business management department and provide a wide variety of services in that capacity.
Are you the Edward White of Edward White and Company?
Yes, I am.
Who do you employ?
We employ a very talented group of professionals that have really amazing credentials. They have graduate degrees from NYU and USC in business administration as well as taxation. Many of my colleagues have been with the firm for over 25 years, in one case for 35 years. I'm very proud to be associated with this group of people.
Who are your principal clients?
We represent approximately 100 high net worth individuals and the companies that they own and operate. In addition to that, we do work for governmental agencies such as the Department of Justice, the state of Alaska, the state of California, and the city of Long Beach.
What's your educational background?
I started my college career utilizing the GI Bill. I served 4 years in the Air Force and was fortunate enough to have that opportunity. My undergraduate degree was in business administration, and I have a master's degree in business administration from the University of Southern California. After completing my graduate degree at USC, I took several tax classes, corporate, fiduciary, estate and gift, and subject matters such as that.
Do you have any other experience with education?
Yes, I was a former professor of accounting and taxation at California State University, located in Los Angeles, California.
What kind of work do you personally do?
The work I do is primarily transaction-oriented, acquisitions of companies, dispositions, that is buying or selling a company, arranging financing with large financial institutions, consulting with clients where they feel it's appropriate for me to be involved, assisting my colleagues. As I mentioned to you, we have approximately 100 high net worth individual clients, and there's always something that I can contribute to.
Do you hold any certifications?
Yes, I'm certified in financial forensics by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. I'm also a member of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the California Society of Certified Public Accountants. And of course, I'm a certified public accountant.
What are financial forensics?
That's an attempt to ascertain not only the facts, but what transpired as relates to financial activity. So you do a study based upon financial records. You then look at contracts. You look at other financial information in an attempt to, once again, not only ascertain what the results were, but what caused the results.
Have you ever previously testified in court?
Yes, I've been accepted as an expert witness in both the California court and the federal courts, and I have testified in matters involving the Department of Justice and the FBI.
Okay. Do you serve on any boards, or have you served on any boards?
Objection, relevance, Your Honor. This witness is not being proffered as an expert in this case.
All right.
Wasn't
This
designated.
is just a fact witness and not an expert witness?
Fact witness, and it goes to credibility.
I'll sustain.
Hancock Whitney has just made
Okay. Do you know Mr. Depp?
Yes, I do.
How'd you come to know Mr. Depp?
I met him because he was introduced to me by a senior executive at the Bank of California, Richard Smith.
Do you work with Mr. Depp?
Yes, I do.
In what capacity?
We are his business management firm.
How long have you served in that capacity?
By approximately 6 years.
What does that role involve?
Processing, managing his financial affairs. As you know, Mr. Depp is an amazing talent, internationally acclaimed for his work, but he relegated his financial activities to me and my colleagues, so we provide a wide variety of services for him.
Do you do this kind of work for other people?
Yes, we do. Numerous other clients.
When did you first become involved with Mr. Depp?
Approximately 6 years ago, after the introduction from Mr. Smith.
What was the nature of the work that you were to perform for him?
Initially, it was to perform a forensic study, evaluate his financial affairs, and to formulate recommendations on how he could manage his affairs in a more advantageous manner.
After you conducted that analysis, what did you do?
I met with Mr. Depp, the purpose of which was to share with him the results of our findings and to make recommendations on how he could resolve the issues he was confronting.
When was that meeting?
That meeting was on April 21st, 2016.
Who called the meeting?
I did. I called the meeting because I felt it was appropriate to meet with Mr. Depp and to discuss his affairs and to provide him with opportunities and plans and strategies to resolve the issues he was confronting.
Where was the meeting held?
It was held at his offices in Los Angeles, California.
Do you know approximately what time it began?
It began at approximately 7:30, and my recollection is there were 7 people in attendance, including Mr. Depp and myself.
Was alcohol served at the meeting?
Not to my recollection. I don't recall any alcohol being consumed.
Did Mr. Depp stay for the entirety of the meeting?
Oh, yes. He was very interested in the contents. He asked very thoughtful questions. He was fully engaged and fully sensitive to the matters that we were discussing.
Yeah, so Anna's saying, I like to manage that kind of money. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure you would. Yeah, we all would. And you would do very good with that. Right. So, Miranda, back in Europe, at a certain point, it was used as money. It was very valuable, like gold. And it was in the Netherlands. I'll give you a brief explanation about it. Tulips used as currency. Go on. In the 17th century, Netherlands tulips were so valuable and in demand that they actually caused a craze known as tulip mania. For years, people were obsessed with tulips, that they actually traded valuables and paid thousands of gulder, which was at their currency. It's so gulder is kind of like gold. That's like their word for something similar to gold. Like in Germany and the Dutchlands, they'll say golden as their currency. So Netherlands had gulder was their currency for the flower. And so tulips even began to be used as money from form of money in their own right. In 1633, actual properties were sold for handfuls of tulip bulbs. And tulips were worth more than gold. And the tulip crash. And there is a tulip market crash that happened. It was called Tulip Mania. Shout out to Mary Toodles. Anna says hello. All right. All right. Hello, G. Glad that you're here. All right. The tulip market reached its peak in the winter of 1636 to 1637. However, by February 1637, the market began to show signs of strain. At a root action in Harlem, buyers suddenly refused to show up, and the market collapsed almost overnight. Prices plummeted. Bulbs were worth small fortunes were suddenly worthless. So it's showing, I learned about the tulips, and tulips are a symbol of money for banks and all kinds of different places. Tulips are a symbol of money. So everybody agreed that the tulips were valuable and used as currency, and I learned this through like economic stuff on YouTube and like money stuff on YouTube. And, well, that's crazy. Just use, okay, and they have these giant tulip phone covers, and I got one, but it didn't fit my phone. Reordered sometimes. Oh, okay. Hello, my precious Pearl G. It's great to see you here. And we're gonna be playing that part, continuing from what we started from where we left off yesterday.
You still do the pirate game?
I have not done that recently. No.
Uh-oh, he's not doing a pirate game.
And also, Miranda said, "Wow, Alien, I had no idea that tulips were used as currency in Europe. That's pretty wild. I wonder if they had to be like perfect tulips. Obviously, you couldn't use dead ones." All right. So, which tulips? How were tulips used as currency? In the 17th century, okay, they actually traded their valuables. Okay, they were alive, and also they sold the tulip bulbs. Some single tulip bulbs, so they would sell the bulbs to make more tulips. I mean, well, they don't make tulips. That's kind of like a New Orleans thing of saying that, because they'll say like making groceries or making tulips. So we don't really make tulips. The tulips just grow out the ground. Right, some single tulip bulb sold for more than 10 times the annual income of the skilled artisan. So they sold the bulbs and the flowers. Okay, we're going to the thing right now. Let's see. The tulip bulb specifically, and also tulip flower. Okay, there we go.
When I was in front of my laptop, and
This is right where we stopped yesterday.
if not possible, I would do it as soon as feasible.
And how often would you show these notes to Dr. Kipper?
I don't recall at intervals, but I don't recall.
So if you look at the first page of the notes, the first entry is August 27th, 2014, correct?
Yes.
And you wrote RN has been hired to provide private nursing care for client Amber Heard, right?
Correct.
Right. And RN refers to you, correct?
Hello, beautiful Libby. It is great to see you. Welcome. I hope you've been doing well, Libby. It's been a while since I've seen you here. Welcome to the chat. Hope that you're doing well.
You got Don Juan Alien.
What's that?
Don Juan was like the love guy, you know, Don Juan.
Oh, okay.
I think Johnny
Okay.
Depp played him. Did he play in Don Juan?
I've heard of the name. I just don't. I'm not familiar with the
I don't
character.
really know. I mean, I don't know the history, but
Yeah, don't get Alien started on Sheen. Oh yeah, Sheen is the new Temu. You know, Sheen is a place where you could get things for, in my opinion, for $5 or 5 cents, and they'll give you a free pass to go to the Sheen Club, where you could get free drinks. Scared.
And an RN means registered nurse, correct?
Correct.
And throughout the notes, and you say this here, Amber Heard would be referred to as client or AH, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And Johnny Depp would be referred to as JD.
That's correct.
Would you agree that Mr. Depp and Amber would get into verbal arguments?
I recall a general sense of discord in the relationship.
And what do you mean by general sense of discord?
I just recall there being disagreements, reconciliation, and kind of that repeating pattern.
And would you be at times taking care of Amber because of this, the disagreements between Mr. Depp and Amber?
I provided emotional support. I was not present with her often, but was available over the phone, via text, and sometimes in person.
Do you recall that in March 2015, Amber went to Australia to be with Mr. Depp?
Yes, I remember she went to Australia. As to the dates, I would have to look through documentation to ascertain the exact dates.
Okay.
Every
And on Exhibit 2, this is your note of March 7th, 2015?
That's correct.
And you wrote, client notifies RN via text of increasing anxiety?
Yes, I wrote that.
And then on 3/8/15, you wrote, RN received report from Debbie RN. Debbie being Debbie Lloyd, correct?
That's correct.
Do you recall what the report you received was on March 8th, 2015 from Debbie?
I mean, I'm just reading my notes.
Sure.
So to answer your question, no, I don't recall specifics of what the report would have been. I assume, based on this note, that would have been a phone call.
Okay. And it says, client will be returning to Los Angeles on March 9th, 2015, accompanied by house manager Ben. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Did you have an understanding as to why Amber was leaving Australia in March of 2015?
Yes.
Oh, hello, Dwayne. Oh, I'm glad to see you. It's been about a minute. All right. Hi, Alien in chat. I can't talk because I'm about to pull on the parking garage to pick Sharon up at the airport. I'm late. She landed at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, and I have an hour drive to get there. Oh, okay. Well, I hope you and Sharon have a good evening, and y'all could go out tomorrow or something, or whatever tonight, and do something fun. But yeah, thank you for letting us know. A shout out to you both.
I don't know if this is the exact timing, but you know better than I, there was an incident in Australia and they had to be, Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp had to be separated. So Ms. Heard returned to Los Angeles per my nursing notes, and I believe Mr. Depp must have stayed in Australia.
What was your understanding as to why Mr. Depp and Amber had to be separated?
It's hard to recall.
No, it's not Anna. He has a girlfriend named Sharon. It's a different Sharon than ours. And oh, hello, Judy. Great to see you. Welcome. Oh, thank you, Judy, for information. She says Dinker pled guilty, no trial. Wow, scared. And it's his girlfriend. It's Dwayne's girlfriend. They were plowing cocaine from those handkerchiefs, both of them shoving it up their way. No one blows their nose like that. Oh, there you go. They're scared. Absolutely, Miranda. So true.
Specifics because I wasn't there or involved at the time, but became involved again. I remember hearing from other people that there was quite an argument between the two in Australia.
Do you have any understanding if anyone was injured during the argument between Amber and Mr. Depp?
Physically injured?
Physically, yeah.
Again, I wasn't present, so I'm only speaking as to what I recall during that time period and what I sort of remember hearing from others. And also, I just remember Mr. Depp's finger was injured. I can't tell you specifically which one, but I remember there was an injury to his finger.
Do you have any understanding as to how his finger was injured?
No.
And then, Erin, you wrote the next note on March 9th, 2015 that says RN and CT in touch via text and phone calls after client arrived at 1500?
Yes, I wrote that.
Okay. And 1500, you're using military time, correct?
That's correct.
So that would be 3 p.m.?
Correct.
Okay. And you wrote client expressed feeling, quote, sad, right?
Yes, I wrote that.
Do you recall what Amber was sad about at approximately March 9th, 2015?
I can't speak to the, I don't remember specifically, but I would assume based on my March 8th note, I would make the assumption that those feelings were in relation to the relationship issues.
You wrote, client states she would like to discuss recent events between her and husband with RN in private tomorrow. Plans are made for RN to visit client at her home tomorrow.
Yes, I wrote that.
Do you recall the conversation you had with Amber regarding the events between her and Mr. Depp at around this March 9th, 2015 timeframe?
No, I don't recall specifics.
Do you recall anything in general?
I really don't. I'm sorry.
Did Amber express any fear of Mr. Depp at this time?
Don't recall. I don't see that in this note, so I can't speak to that.
And then the note for March 10th, 2015, you see that note?
I do.
You can take this down.
Dwayne says, Miranda, we are both divorced. We are boyfriend and girlfriend and live in the same building. Bye for now, chat. I'm going to drive. I'm not going to drive and text anymore. I live downtown and cops write tickets. Scared. He is he's up north. When? I didn't.
Cruise into summer with
We put up attachment 25, please.
Stand by. Exhibit 4.
Ms. Velati, I'm showing you a text chain between you and Whitney Hurd on March 23rd, 2015. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
And on March 23rd, 2015, you texted to Whitney Hurd, Debbie just told me what's going on and to check with you, is Amber awake or fall asleep? Do you see that?
I do.
And then Ms. Hurd wrote she finally fell asleep. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. Then you wrote, thank goodness, she must be
Sorry.
exhausted.
I'm sorry, just to confirm, this is from Whitney Hurd, not Amber Hurd, correct?
As I understand it, it says Whit Hurd. Is that your understanding?
I assume. Thank you.
And then do you recall ever communicating with Whitney Hurd via text or chat?
That sounds familiar.
Okay. And you wrote, thank goodness, she must be exhausted. You want me to come to the loft, or is she safe and sound asleep? You see that?
I do see that.
Okay. And then Whitney wrote, safe? Question mark? No, she's not. Kept saying she wants to kill herself. You see that?
See that?
Were you ever concerned about Ms. Hurd's safety as it relates to Mr. Depp?
So if she made comments to me that she was not safe, I would be concerned about her to ensure that she was safe. Yes.
Do you recall Ms. Hurd making comments to you about her safety?
I remember a general sense when they, meaning Ms. Hurd and Mr. Depp, would have arguments. She would often have her friends around her for support, but from a general, physical sense, she was always in a safe place.
And you mean in a general physical sense, she was always in a safe place? What do you mean by that?
Meaning she was always, not always, I should say, often home, often surrounded with friends. She had friends that lived right down the hallway from her, so she was always supported.
Was Mr. Depp friends with Marilyn Manson?
Yes, I believe.
Ms. Velati, I'm showing you what's marked as Exhibit 7, and these are texts that Mr. Depp produced between you and him. And I'm focusing on this text message of October 31st, 2015. You see that? Well, so this text message between you and Whitney is on March 23rd, 2015. You see that?
I do.
Okay. And if we go back to Exhibit 2, and I'll go back. Oops. There's no entry for March 23rd, 2015.
Yeah.
You see that? Not everything you did for Ms. Hurd as a nurse is reflected in these notes, correct? And the next notes we have are November 25th, 2015. Do you know why there's a long period where there's no notes?
Yes. Perhaps I can shed some light for you and everyone on the relationship. When I was first hired to care for Ms. Hurd, I worked full-time. I was assigned 24/7 basically. And after a period of time, I became more part-time and on call. And I was working with different clients at the time. So I would, how to put it, I would not be working regularly, but would also be available if an issue arose or a medication change needed or things like that. So I would assume that would account for this gap.
Why did you move from full-time to part-time?
I don't know the exact answer, but I assume that's not my decision to make. That's usually the client and or treating physician.
Okay, so that's the first page of Exhibit 2.
Yes, thank you. So if you can you go down to, it's about the third paragraph, a little bit, yes. Per report from JD, which refers to Mr. Depp, Debbie, RN, and Dr. Kipper, client AH, which is Ms. Heard, has reportedly been experiencing increased anxiety and agitation recently and has had several outbursts of anger and rage. From what I remember, when I was involved in the case, it was to help assist Ms. Heard with some emotional issues, anxiety issues, in attempts to assist, in layman's term, kind of calming things down a bit.
Do you recall any?
Hello, Abby. It's wonderful to see you here. Oh, we hope you're doing okay. If you have any updates, let us know if you'd like. We're glad to have your company.
Examples that you knew of anger and rage showed by Amber?
I do recall seeing her very angry. I have to refer to my notes. It was in London, so that would have been 2014. And I believe it was in reference to a violating incident where her phone had been hacked and she was quite upset. I saw her angry at that time, and other times I don't recall.
Were you in London with Amber at the time?
Yes.
And how was Amber showing her anger?
I recall loud, kind of elevated voice, yelling, crying, quite upset.
Do you recall receiving a call from Amber around December 16th, 2015 regarding this argument between Mr. Depp and Amber?
I don't recall a specific phone call.
Would you doubt that a phone call occurred if you wrote it down in your notes?
If I wrote it, I don't doubt that it occurred. I just don't have memory of it.
And now you see the note on December 17th, 2015?
Yes.
And you wrote RN in contact with client to notify her that she'd be able to deliver medications to her home. RN waited at door for several minutes after knocking. Client greeted RN at door looking disheveled. Hair appeared unbrushed. Client appeared weepy and sad. Posture is slouched. Client told RN about argument with husband. RN offered emotional support but reminded client that RN could not stay as was on duty with another client and was only visiting in order to deliver medication. Per client, she had not had contact with husband since altercation. Client had visible bright red blood appearing at center of lower lip. When RN made client aware that she was actively bleeding on her lip, client stated it was from injury sustained in the, and then it's blank. You see that? And then we can keep going down in the argument between her and her husband, and that it continues to bleed actively. You wrote that?
Yes.
And then you also wrote clients also states that her head is bruised and that she lost clumps of hair in altercation. You wrote that?
I assume so. It's in my notes.
Okay. And then you wrote, RN briefly looked at client's scalp but was unable to visualize the hematomas client had described. You wrote that?
Yes, I would agree.
And then you wrote, RN encouraged client to be seen by physician Dr. Kipper or go to emergency urgent care for thorough assessment. You see that?
I do.
And then you wrote, client states she will contact Dr. Kipper tomorrow. Client is supported by friends Rocky and IO who will be staying in client's home with her. You wrote that?
I agree, yes.
Okay. And then on December 18th, 2015, you wrote, client states she went to Dr. Kipper's office and was assessed by NP Monroe T as Dr. Kipper was out of the office. You wrote that?
Yes,
And NP stands for nurse practitioner.
that's correct.
And you understand Monroe T stood for Monroe Tinker.
Yes,
You recall if Mr. Depp ever forgot to take any of his medication?
at a specific time or ever?
In any time where you were working with him?
I would say vaguely, yes.
Ms. Bellotti, I'm showing this been marked as Exhibit 11 to your deposition, which is Bellotti 96 through 106. You see that?
Yes,
You recall receiving this text message, right?
I have a vague memory of this.
Do you recall if you spoke to Amber after you received this text message? Or at any time after you received this text message around May 21st, May 22nd, 2016?
Are you saying a phone call or just?
Yeah. Phone call.
I don't really recall.
It could have happened, you just don't recall one way or the other?
I would agree with that.
And you received this picture from Amber?
That's correct.
What is this picture of?
I was just asking if you could scroll down. Well, could you rewind it just a little?
Ms. Heard.
And does the picture show redness under Miss Heard's eyes?
You can answer as a lay person if she has such an opinion.
Yeah, it's like, that doesn't even look like a mark or anything. Like, if she was punched in the face by him, that would look totally different. I don't know why I don't know why they can't hear them. They talk so damn quiet. Oh, okay, chat. Understood. I have the volume up on the thing. It's how the stream was recorded when it was put out there. Anyway, though. Yeah, but you see, Amber Heard, these marks on her face do not look authentic, in my opinion. Like, if she was hit by him, it would have looked totally worse, in my opinion. Oh, okay, Miranda said that. Dwayne, oh, that's right. You told us before. Sorry, I stepped away. Oh, okay, understood. All right, a couple more minutes of this. Yeah, sometimes court recordings aren't that great. Oh, okay, Anna, understood. There's only 14 more minutes of this one. We'll play other ones. Y'all could listen to, and I'll react to it. Yeah, but yeah, it doesn't look authentic to me. Right. It would have been bruised, not just a smack. Right. It doesn't look like what she's describing. Definitely. Okay, let's go here.
If you have an opinion one way or the other, you can let them know.
I'm not an expert, so, I mean, there's color on her face in different areas. I don't know what's what.
And you received this first picture of Amber at 12:36 a.m., correct?
Performing on the biggest stage in the world.
That's the timestamp there.
And you received another picture at 12:36 a.m.?
It appears so.
And who do you see in that picture?
Also misheard.
And you received a third picture of Amber at 12:36 a.m.?
Yes, it appears so.
And is that third picture of Amber?
Yes, that's misheard.
And you received the fourth picture of Amber at 12:36 a.m.?
Then yes.
And this fourth, I think just so it's clear, the fourth picture is of Amber, correct?
That's correct.
And you received that at 12:36 a.m.?
Yes, that's the timestamp.
And these are pictures of Amber's face, correct?
Yes, that's a picture of her face and neck.
Do you recall do you recall receiving those pictures?
Like I said, I have a vague memory of this, but I don't specifically remember receiving it.
Okay. Do you know if you reported these pictures or what Ms. Heard reported to you to Dr. Kipper?
I would assume that if any information was presented to me, I would have contacted Dr. Kipper.
And do you know how you would have contacted Dr. Kipper?
No, I depending on the date, time, I would sometimes call, email, text.
Do you recall if you wrote nurse notes for this incident?
I don't recall.
Do you want us to look at Exhibit 2?
It's the nursing notes?
Yeah. Why don't we do
Sure.
that? So there's notes for May 11th, 2016. You see that?
Yeah.
And then the next notes for May 26th, 2016.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know why you didn't include notes for May 21st, 2016?
I don't know.
And on May 26th, you wrote, client texted RN requesting Ambien as she states she's suffering from insomnia due to stress and anxiety. Client reports, quote, having the hardest week of my life, end quote. You wrote that?
Yes.
And you wrote, client states she cannot deal with the negative media publicity she has received surrounding the divorce.
Yeah, exactly. And Miranda says, do you remember I told you guys I accidentally bumped into something and I have a black eye? I have a bigger noticeable black mark on my face than she freaking does. I'm scared. Exactly. Like, Amber looks like she's wearing some, makeup. And it looks totally different than hers. Like, hers doesn't look like anything. And I think that Johnny showed a lot of restraint around her. Yeah. Yeah, Miranda, that sounds ouch. Definitely. Ouch. I'm scared. Alright.
She requested from her husband, JD. Dr. Kipper notified Ambien 10 milligrams, QHS PRN 14 ordered. Per Dr. Kipper, client is encouraged to make appointment with Dr. Kipper in office to be assessed. Client did not respond. You wrote that?
Yes.
Ms. Vladi, I'm showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 12 to your deposition, which is Vladi 114 through 119. Um,
G said, "My thing is, if someone is dangerous, why are you there? Like, I don't get it. I'd never get a therapist or contact friends, etc. I'd simply leave. And yes, I am sorry. It is simple in this situation." Right. Miranda said, "GS, you're right. My son's dad was a narcissist, abusive, crazy person, and I thought that eventually he was probably going to end my life, and I literally got up and left. It was hard to do, but in the end, it was the best thing for the survival and me to move on in my life in a happy way." G said, no, he's not going to kill her. He's a star. He's watched by the world. This is not a domestic thing with any of us where you never know and fear they are in the limelight, and she could have just left. 100%, chat. 100%.
you can take a look through them. It appears to be notes of when you were Mr. Depp's nurse, as opposed to Miss Heard. But feel free to take a look.
That's correct. I think these are my nursing notes in relation to Mr. Depp.
So client now is Mr. Depp, correct?
That's correct, because these nursing notes are in reference to Mr. Depp. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And in the nursing note for April 23rd, 2015, you wrote that Dr. Kipper will introduce Rosalind Phillip to Debbie RN and clients Amber H. and Johnny Depp. Debbie RN will assist in coordinating session appointments between clients and Ms. Phillips. Do you know if Mr. Depp and Amber ever saw Rosalind Phillip?
I don't know.
Thank you, misconstrue. I forgot. Thank you. Alright, so I'm going to read that all over again. Alright, so we all know why she didn't want to leave. She just loved the celebrity life and thought she couldn't do it on her own or didn't want to. And G said, "Thank God you did, and I'm so happy you are okay. And I'd not say this to just anyone. It can be scary if you are one of us and our average hubbies couldn't kill us. All he's known, and she had chances to move on from Hollywood. Gee, yes, it's real people who survive domestic violence over nothing, like Amber Heard." Yeah, exactly. And the issue is she spent years complaining and whining, but why didn't she not leave? She has family. She has all these producers and famous people to put him on blast. He's not going to risk it. She said the pictures of her celebrating walking down getting a restraining order. It's like the most cringe thing I've ever seen in a trial lately. Not only that, but I mean, as simply as human being in your situation, if you told me I am terrified of leaving, he might kill me, I would support you, but how is Depp going to kill her? And she just needed to leave instead of hundreds of thousands spent on therapists, nurses, and doctors, meds, and she leaves anyway. Yes, G, great point, and people help me get over the situation too. TMZ pics of her are vile. Facts. Exactly, chat. Could have left. She wanted to be in the spotlight, in the limelight, and he wouldn't risk that because he's always in the spotlight all the time, and he didn't have a history of it.
And at Pilati 117, it shows notes for June 7th, 2016, correct?
That is correct.
You wrote, the following medications were approved per Dr. Kipper to be given to the client, and then there's a list of medications. You wrote these notes, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And did you understand that Mr. Depp was taking those medications as of June 7th, 2016?
Per this nursing note, it appears that he was taking these medications listed.
And then there's a nursing note for June 26, 2016. You see that?
Yes.
And it says, you wrote, client is going through divorce with wife Amber H. and is dealing with the loss of his mother, passed away 1 month ago. Client was provided with the divorce request from wife AH 3 days after mother passed away. Do you see that?
Yes.
And you wrote that?
Yes.
So was it your understanding that Amber asked for a divorce?
This note says that Mr. Depp was provided with divorce request from Ms. Heard, so it appears she was the one requesting the divorce.
Right, and you wrote, next, client states he was not aware AH wanted divorce and expresses confusion regarding AH's desire to terminate marriage. You wrote that?
Yes.
Is that what Mr. Depp told you?
I would assume if I wrote it in my notes.
Then you wrote, client's divorce has been highly publicized and wife AH has been accused him of several character damaging allegations, including domestic violence. You wrote that, correct?
Correct.
Was this did you write this based on information Mr. Depp provided you?
I don't know. I would assume that I've had discussions with him regarding this, considering that this is a nursing note for Mr. Depp.
Did Mr. Depp tell you his character had been damaged as of June 2016?
I don't recall. I have to go by what my note says here. So it alludes to that's something that he had discussed.
And you see where you wrote, client states he felt helpless previously but is now angry at AH and wants to clear his name. Mr. Depp told you that?
Again, I don't recall for sure, but I would go back to my nursing notes because those were written more at the time. So I would assume that he and I discussed that.
Okay, farther down, you wrote, RN assisted client in processing feelings and encouraged client to continue utilizing individual therapy as he responded well to RN's use of therapeutic communication. You see that?
Yes.
And you wrote that, correct?
Yes.
Then you wrote, client is resistant, stating, quote, I don't want anyone like Amber's wife therapist. He has only made things worse, end quote. You see that?
Yes.
And you wrote that?
Yes.
And where it's quotes, I don't want anyone like Amber's therapist. He's only made things worse. That was something that Mr. Depp told you?
Again, as I have it in quotations, I assume he made that statement.
A little farther down, you wrote, throughout RN's visit, client maintains attention and is actively participating in conversation. Client consumed 3 vodka drinks during RN's seven-hour visit. Client did not eat during visit and drank water only with several prompts from RN. RN educated client on possible interactions between prescribed medication and alcohol. Client verbalized understanding but stated, quote, right now I need a little alcohol for all the bad things I'm going through, end quote. You wrote those lines?
Yes.
Say the document speaks best as to how many drinks Mr. Depp had?
Correct.
And that Mr. Depp drank 3 vodka drinks during your visit?
That's what my note says.
And then you said RN provided one-on-one emotional support and encouraged clients to limit and or abstain from alcohol and illicit drugs. You wrote that?
Yes.
Do you recall why you told Mr. Depp to abstain from illicit drugs?
No, but I did, and not just with Mr. Depp, but in my line of nursing, provide education always with any medication clients are on and contraindications.
Do you know if Mr. Depp ever took any illicit drugs during the 2014 to 2016 timeframe?
I don't know. I didn't witness him using any illicit drugs, so I can't speak to that.
Your Honor, at this point, the questioning switches over to questions for by counsel for Mr. Depp. That's all right with us, Your Honor. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and break for the evening. You can stay. You can stay. That's fine. All right. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Your next question.
Mr. Baruch, were you
back.
still?
Okay.
Thank you for coming back.
Yes.
Were you still living in penthouse 2 of the Eastern Columbia building on May 21st, 2016?
Yes.
Do you recall what you were doing that evening?
Yes.
What were you doing?
I was out. It was evening time. I'm out in the neighborhood, and I'm on my way home. I get a phone call from my friend who wants to know if I want to go out and eat. I said I just ate, but I'm 5 minutes away from the Eastern Columbia building home, and go across the street, get something to eat, and bring it up for takeout, and we'll go upstairs to my joint and we'll eat. and yap.
Did you meet your friend back at the Eastern Columbia building?
Yep,
Around what time was that?
9:30.
What happened after you met your friend?
We went upstairs.
Can we pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 116 again, please? And Your Honor, given that this has already been admitted, I'd ask that it be published.
All right, that's fine. You can publish it. You just can't see it. It's not on this. Okay, you still have it?
Mr. Birch, is it on the screen in front of you?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
yes.
Mr. Birch, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about what happened after you went upstairs that evening. And it may be helpful for you. There are controls on that screen that you can use to sort of mark the exhibit to show the jury the spots that you're talking about and identifying.
So if you just touch it, it'll make a mark. So you don't have to touch the top. That's fine.
Do I touch something on menu here?
Nope, you don't. Nope, just wait, and you can
Oh.
touch it whenever she needs you to mark it.
Just wherever I touch it, it's going to make a mark.
It will.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Birch, when you got upstairs that evening with your friend around 9:30,
Yeah.
What did you see?
We got out of the elevator, and you know, just like in the graph, you make a left and then you turn the corner. When we walked out, I noticed on the floor there's shards of glass. There's pieces of glass, and so you know, I was just looking, going, oh, something busted. Could be one of the sconces or something like that, and kept walking.
Can you mark on the exhibit where you saw the broken glass that evening?
Yeah. Boom. Right there. Right where you could go left or you could go right. And if you wanted to go to the pool area, there's an exit that way. So you could either go right or you go left. You go left, you're in the apartment, going in the hallway through the apartment, or you go right there in that spot.
And did you continue on to your penthouse after you saw the broken glass?
Oh, yeah. So we walk around, and then we make the turn. We hang the right past penthouse 5, and we stop right in front of, right here.
And why did you stop right there?
Oh, stopped in front of here, penthouse 1, which is it's more right there, because there's this puddle of wine, huge puddle of wine on the floor that's in front of the door, and there's the splashed wine that's dripping down the wall. And so we stopped, and I'm looking at it and going, look at this. Someone must have got hammered. These guys probably had a party. And at that point, right then, as soon as I said that, the door opens up. And it's Josh Drew, who pokes his head out the door, only enough for his head to come out. And he's pretty bug-eyed and looks distraught. And I look at him and I go, what's up with the spilt wine? And I'm figuring I'd get an explanation or whatever. And he looked at me and just said, rough day, had a rough day. And at that point, I got concerned and said to him, because I'm friends with him, you know, I got concerned. I said, hey, you okay? You want me to help you with something? Do you need help? He said, no, it's okay. We got it. And I said, okay. And me and my buddy took off and went into my place.
And what did you do after that?
My buddy ate. I believe he had pizza from across the street, and we talked. We yapped for a while, and you know, I could yap, so it could, you know, it could take. We were there probably an hour and change or something like that, and then we're done. So I walked him out, and walked down. Went to the elevator, walked out, went to the elevator. We went downstairs. I walked them out the door, finished the conversation that we were having. And I said, all right, see ya. And then I went back in. I went upstairs and I went to bed.
Around what time was that you went back into the Eastern Columbia building?
You know something, if we got there at like around 9:30, and we're talking, I don't know, an hour, an hour and a half, 2 hours, somewhere around 11 o'clock, I would think.
We can go ahead and take Exhibit 116 down. Mr. Baruch, can you describe for the jury the events of the next day, May 22nd, 2016?
Yes. It's my birthday. May 22nd is my birthday. I wake up, I end up texting Johnny and saying, hey, I'm going to be in town, because he's not staying at the Eastern Columbia building. He's staying in a house in town, okay? And so I texted him, it's my birthday. I said, listen, I'm going to be in town. I'm going to come by and to have a birthday drink. Okay. I didn't hear from him, I didn't get an answer back, but I said, that's what I'm doing. If that happens, that happens. But, so it was around noon time, so I left. I walked out of my apartment, and I go through the hallway, as you see the graph. I go through the hallway, and I turn the corner from Penthouse 3, and as I'm walking down, well, who do I see? I see a group of people. It's a guy in black clothes, a black shirt, black pants, Amber Heard, and I see Josh Drew, who's leaning up against the door, and the door is open.
Anytime I hear the word Amber Heard, I start laughing. You saw Amber Heard. I hear Amber Turd. Scared.
This door is open. Something's going on, and as I'm walking up, I'm saying, hey, what's up? What are you guys doing? And then Amber turns to me as I'm walking up. Amber turns to me, and she says, Johnny came by last night. He got violent, so I'm changing the locks on 1, 3, and 5. And I'm look at her, and she goes, oh, and don't worry about 2. You're okay. And at this point, I'm now walking past. So now we're all in front of the open door of the apartment, and I see there's 2 guys, 2 locksmiths working on the door. So now I'm standing on one side, and you have Josh Drew on one side of the door. You got the 2 locksmiths with the door open, working on it. The sun's coming through the door, sunlight from windows, and then Amber is in front of me, and there's the security guy, and that we're 2 feet away from each other, talking. And she introduces me as she's finishing saying, "Oh, don't worry about your apartment." She says, "Oh, and this is a security guard that I got who's going to be hanging around." And I got introduced. She introduced me to him, and I shook his hand. He gave me a card, which I lost, and I'm kind of taking this in and going, and I said, "Wait. What happened? What's going on?" And at that point, Josh Drew looks at me and gives me the high sign to like, "Hey, follow me. I'll tell you in private." And
Mr. Rich, when you were speaking with Ms. Heard, how close were you standing to her?
like I said, I'm 2 feet. A foot and a half, 2 feet away. We're all 2 feet.
And how was the lighting in that area?
There's lights in the hallway, but we're standing in an open doorway that the wall is all windows. Sunlight's coming through, and you can operate in this light. There's that much light.
Did you notice any marks on her face when you were speaking with her?
No.
Did you see any bruises?
No.
Did you see any redness?
No.
Did you notice any swelling?
No.
Did it look like Ms. Heard was wearing any makeup?
No.
Had you seen her wearing makeup before?
Yeah.
And you had seen her not wearing makeup before?
Yeah, I seen, like I said, with the face mask, doing a face mask, no makeup, hanging around, waking up in the morning, no with makeup, glammed out to go out. And it's 3.5 years of seeing her in different forms.
Did you speak with Mr. Drew about anything at that point?
Well, yeah, after I said that, hey, what's going on? And he gave me the high sign to like, hey, follow him. We went into my apartment and had a conversation.
And what happened after you had that conversation with Mr. Drew?
We left the apartment and we go walking back towards Penthouse 1. And as I'm walking back, I say to Amber, as I'm walking up, he hit you? And she goes, yeah, he threw a phone at me and hit me. And I'm looking, because I had just seen her.
That's hilarious. It's, he's saying that she took a phone and hit her. Wow. I love the way he articulates and the way he says what's going on. Very, very well done on his part. Very hilarious. And he, yeah, taking a phone and hitting. Scared.
2 feet away, and I'm going, where? And she puts her head out. She puts her face out like that for me to look at her, the right side of her face. And I'm looking, but at that point also, I'm looking, and I turn around, get on the other side. We're in the doorway. So I'm on this side with the light shining this way from the doorway with the lights above, but the sunshine. And she's got her face out like this, looking, to show me. And I'm looking, and I inspect the face. I'm looking at her forehead. I'm looking at the side of her eye. I'm looking at her cheek. I'm looking at her chin. I'm looking at the other side of the face. I'm looking at the whole thing. And I don't see anything. I don't see anything I don't see a cut, a bruise, swelling, redness. It's just Amber's face that she's going like this and showing me. So I'm not seeing anything. I back up and I'm making a joke. I make a joke going, well, I don't see anything, but maybe all the beauty from one side of your face to the other side of the face is outshining everything, so I can't see anything. And she's laughed and she's, smiled. And I just looked at everybody and said, hey, it sounds nuts. And I went and I said, I gotta go. And I gave her a hug and kissed her on that side of the face. Kissed her on that side of the face. And then I left. Said goodbye.
What was her reaction when you kissed her on that side of the face?
Nothing.
Did she flinch?
No.
Did you see Ms. Heard again the next day?
Yeah.
When was that?
So that's Monday. That was May 22nd, my birthday. So then the next day is Monday, the 23rd. I had woken up with a chest cold, and I heard a knock on the door, and it's Amber. So I opened up the door.
Around what time was that?
That's, I want to say, maybe around noontime, maybe a little bit before. Maybe it could have been a little bit, I think around noontime again. And I went downstairs and I opened up the door.
And when you opened the door, did you have a good view of Ms. Heard?
Absolutely, yeah.
How was the lighting?
Lighting's fine. Lighting from outside, and there's light from my place, yeah. So the lighting was great.
Did you see any marks on Ms. Heard's face at that time?
No, same thing like the day before. There's no redness, there's no swelling, there's no bruises, there's no cuts, there's no nothing. Just Amber, looking like Amber.
Did you notice if she was wearing any makeup at that point?
She didn't look like she was wearing makeup then either.
What did Ms. Heard say to you during that encounter?
She was knocking on my door to see if I would take the house key, her house key, to let the cleaning lady in, because she had to go somewhere. And I woke up that day and I had some kind of chest cold thing. I was upstairs laying down, and so I looked at her and I said, "Hey, listen, I'm feeling sick. I'm going to be upstairs laying down this entire time for the day or whatever, and that so I can't do it." And then she stood there and is like, "Well, I got to figure out what to do." Like maybe if she was only dependent upon me to give the housekeeper the key. It's the same. The housekeeper cleans both of our places. And so I said, "Hey, listen, why don't you go ahead and take the key and put it in an envelope and bring it downstairs to the concierge, and that's where the key will be, and tell Hilda, who is the housekeeper, that that's where the key is, and that's it, and you're set." And she was like, "Yeah, okay, I guess I could do that." And I'm 3 feet away from her, 2.5, 3 feet away from her, talking with her.
And how long did that conversation last?
3 minutes.
Did you see Ms. Hurd again the next day?
Yes, I did.
Where did you see her?
All right. I go down. I'm leaving my apartment on Tuesday to go downstairs to the cafe to go get something hot to drink. I still haven't shopped or did anything for what's a chest cold. And so I wanted something hot to drink. I go downstairs, and as I'm locking my door, that all of a sudden a group of women come up to penthouse 3, because in the corridor on the graph you could see we share the same corridor. So I'm locking my door, and a group of women show up.
Did you recognize who the women were?
3 of them, yeah.
Who were they?
It was, something, I'm unsure if it was 4 or 5 women, but it's Amber, it's her sister Whitney, and it's Melanie Iglesias, who's a makeup artist for Johnny and Amber, and then there's 2 other women that I didn't recognize, but not sure.
Did you interact with the women at all?
Well, after closing the door, Whitney, who calls me her spirit animal, came running down the hallway, going, "Isaac, spirit animal," and I'm going, "Hey, listen, I'm not feeling so hot, I'm not feeling so good," and I duck under her arms, stop, and I love you, but stop, and I duck under her arms, and I go past, and I'm passing the other ladies, Amber and who she's with, and I'm looking at them. They're laughing of this whole scene, and then that was it. And then I went past, and went down and got some hot tea.
Did you see Ms. Hurd's face during that encounter?
It was a quick glance, but nothing just shot out to me to notice anything.
Did you see Ms. Hurd again the day after that?
Well, I saw her again that day.
Oh, can you describe that, please?
Yeah, that on the way back from me being outside at the cafe, having a tea, I come walking back in, and now all her and the women that she was with are coming back out, and we're in the lobby, and the doors of the lobby, it's all windows, there's great light shining through the entire lobby. And the women there's a table in the middle of the lobby, and her friends, or I don't know if they're friends or not. I know 3. One's a sister, and the other one's a friend. They're walking on one side of the table, and then she's on the other side of the table where I'm walking, and now we're walking past each other, and she's, of course we're gonna acknowledge each other and looking at each other. And now she's the sun shining right in her face. It's to my back because I'm walking in. And so that's like this and saying, all right, hey, all right, enjoy yourself, have a good time or whatever you're doing, you know, and go by. And I went up. And that was it. That was the second time that I saw her. And that's on Tuesday.
And did you get a good look at her face during that second encounter?
Absolutely. The sun shining right on her face.
Did you notice anything unusual about her face?
Nothing. No cuts, no bruises, no swelling, no redness, no. It's Amber. It's Amber's face.
And then did you see Ms. Hurd again the day after that?
Yes, I did.
And that's Wednesday, May 25th?
That's right.
Where did you see her?
At that point, I was like, okay, I got to shop for something because otherwise I'm not going to get rid of this chest cold. I'm going to go to the store, and on the way back, in between the garage and the building, there's this room with like vestibule, you know, that's you have to walk through. And I'm coming in to go into the building, and Amber and Whitney, her sister, are coming out of the building to go into the garage. And we met there.
How long did you speak with them, if at all?
Yeah, we spoke. That's so we're facing each other. Amber and Whitney are across from me. We're 2.5 feet, 2 feet away from each other, talking. Of course, and so we stop, of course, to say, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Where you going? Where you going? Where you coming from? I have bags of food in my hand of stuff that I went and I bought. And so I said, hey, I'm coming from shopping. I finally bought myself some stuff to get rid of this chest cold thing. And they go, and they're going to the CVS. And they look at me and so what's yapping, everyone's smiling and stuff. And she says, you sure we can't get you anything? How about we get you some aspirin or some, you know, some cold stuff? I said, no, I think I got everything. And and they said, you sure? And I said, yeah, of course, I got it. Don't sweat it. And, you know, a kiss or whatever. I got my hands, I can't hug or whatever. So, and then I said to see you, and I went up, and they went through the garage. That was it that day.
Did you have a good look at her face during that conversation?
Yes, this room. Yes, yeah, this room. It's completely lit. That it's a spot, and there's a camera taking. You know, cameras always on, a security camera, and always, and so it's got good lighting and stuff. Because this is a spot where if you use your fob key to go into the building, well, the door takes a long time to, you know, it's one of those things with the pressure thing that the door just doesn't close shut. It takes a while for it to close. Someone could be in the garage who's not supposed to be in the garage, run and hold the door open. And that then they get into the apartment building, and then who knows, maybe somebody gets ripped off. But so it's well lit for security reasons, and that there's a camera there. It's taking pictures, you know, doing what the camera does.
Was Ms. Hurd wearing makeup during that discussion?
Neither of them looked like they were wearing makeup at all. Whitney had this hat on that it was a fun hat or whatever, and that no makeup. I don't even know Whitney to be a makeup person, and that Amber, no, she looked like she was, you know, just natural Amber. It's all, you know, just as always, no makeup.
Did you notice any marks on Ms. Hurd's face?
No.
Did you notice any swelling?
No swelling. No, there's nothing. There's no swelling, no bruising, no redness, no cuts, no, I don't even, you know, nothing.
Turning back to May 21st for a second, when you first heard that Ms. Heard told you Mr. Depp had hit her, do you recall that?
Say that again?
When Ms. Heard told you that Mr. Depp had hit her on May 22nd.
Yeah, my birthday.
How did you feel hearing her say that?
All right. What's the relevance to how he felt?
I mean, it's a present sense impression of how he perceived that in that moment.
I'll sustain the objection.
Mr. Bruch, did you see Ms. Heard at all the rest of that week of May 23rd?
No.
Did you learn at some point in time that Ms. Heard had filed for divorce from Mr. Depp?
Say that again?
Did you learn at some point in time that Ms. Heard had filed for divorce from Mr. Depp?
Yeah.
How did you learn that?
I learned it from the internet. After the weekend, around probably Monday, either Sunday or Monday, I'm on the internet and I end up seeing a picture of, it was the Friday of that week, the past week, and there's a picture of Amber wearing a black morning dress and with this brown mark on her cheek, and that she's been to a divorce. She went to go file for divorce. That's how I found out.
Were you surprised when you saw that?
Surprised is not the word. It's like, what the hell is this? What's going on?
At any point when you had seen her during that prior week, had she told you that she intended to file for divorce?
Objection. Leading.
I'll allow it. Go ahead. You can.
What the hell?
Were you surprised when you saw that?
Surprised is not the word. It's like, what the hell is this? What's going on? She's been to a divorce. She went to go file for divorce. That's how I found out.
Were you surprised when you saw that?
Surprised is not the word. It's like, what the hell is this? What's going on?
At any point when you had seen her,
and with this brown mark on her cheek, and that she's been to a divorce. She went to go file for divorce. That's how I found out.
were you surprised when you saw that?
Surprised is not the word. It's like, what the hell is this? What's going on?
At any point when you had seen her during that prior week, had she told you that she intended to file for divorce?
Objection. Leading.
I'll allow it. Go ahead. You can answer the question, sir.
What's the question again?
At any point when you had seen her during that week, had Ms. Heard told you that she intended to file for divorce?
No. She never once. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday or Friday, not even see it? No. There's no.
Answer the question.
Leading.
I'll allow it. Go ahead. You can answer the question, sir.
What's the question again?
At any point when you had seen her during that week, had Ms. Heard told you that she intended to file for divorce?
No. She never once. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday or Friday, not even see it? No. There's no, I'm clueless. She did not say anything about divorce.
For those listening, we are replaying this scene that was very funny from Isaac. FYI for those listening.
So what did you think when you saw those pictures and read the articles and learned that she was filing for divorce?
I'm sorry. Objection. Relevance to what he thought.
It builds on all of the testimony he's given previously.
I'll sustain the objection.
When did you see Ms. Heard next after that?
She knocks on my door June 3rd, Friday night, June 3rd. She knocks on my door around 11 o'clock is the next time that I see her.
And what happened when she knocked on your door on June 3rd?
I opened up the door, and naturally, something I'll say is, hey, how you doing? To say hello. So I open up the door and say, hey, how you doing? And she looks at me and she says, I'm not feeling so hot that I made some food. Would you like to come over and eat with me? And at that point, after everything I've seen, I looked at her. I said, "Listen, me and you, we're not going to talk anymore. After everything that I've just seen all week long from the past week and change, listen, I'm confused, I'm angry, and I'm frustrated by everything that I've seen. And that I think the best thing is for me and you that we don't talk anymore. After everything." And at that point, after everything I've seen, I looked at her. I said, "Listen, me and you, we're not going to talk anymore. After everything that I've just seen all week long, from the past week and change, listen, I'm confused, I'm angry, and I'm frustrated by everything that I've seen. And that I think the best thing is for me and you that we don't talk anymore."
Did you say anything in response?
Yes. In response to that, she looks at me and she says, "I told Johnny I don't want anything. The lawyers are making me do all of this." And that's what she said.
Did you respond to Ms. Heard?
No, what I was thinking was that to me, after saying that, after she said that to me, I'm thinking to myself, "Gay cock'em yum, hey, how, to me." I'm thinking was that to me, after saying that, after she said that to me, I'm thinking to myself, "Gay cock'em yum, hey, how." I was thinking was that to me, after saying that, after she said that to me, I'm thinking to myself, "Gay cock'em yum, hey, how,
All right. I'll sustain that objection. Next question.
how, after she said that to me, I'm thinking to myself, "Gay cock'em yum, hey, how,
I'll sustain that objection. Next question.
Did you see any injuries on Ms.
I
Heard's
agree,
face
G.
on June 3rd when you spoke with her?
I agree, G. Definitely the best. Indeed. Bro's hilarious.
No."
Did you ever speak with Ms. Heard again after that?
Well, she said to me after that, "The lawyers are making me do all of this." Then I was just looking at her, and then she ended what she was saying by saying, "Well, I'm sorry you feel that way." And I closed the door and would never talk to her ever again.
Did you have any interactions with the staff at the Eastern Columbia building about Ms. Heard's allegations against Mr. Depp?
Objection, Your Honor, may we approach?
Okay.
Mr. Baruch, did you have any interactions with the staff of the Eastern Columbia building about Ms. Heard's allegations against Mr. Depp?
Yes.
And at some point, did you see a security video taken in the Eastern Columbia building?
Yes.
When was that?
Sometime in June, maybe 2 weeks in or something like that. It's 2-3 weeks in.
Can you describe what you saw in that video?
Yes, I can. It was a video of Amber and Whitney waiting at the elevator, a mezzanine level, coming from the garage, obviously, and waiting for the elevator. And Whitney does this to Amber. Pow! And hits her, like faking hitting her in the face. Going, pow! And then they start laughing.
Did Ms. Heard react at all in that video to the fake punch that you observed Whitney throw?
Yeah, she's laughing. After doing it, they both, laughing at with each other.
Mr. Baruch, do you know who Elon Musk is?
Sure.
Have you ever seen Mr. Musk in person?
Yeah.
Where did you see him in person?
First time was I'm getting into the elevator on the rooftop, penthouse level. I'm going into the elevator, and he's coming out of the elevator, going past me.
And when did that take place?
This is after May. This is sometime June, it could be July, but after May.
In that same year, 2016?
Yeah.
And when was the second time that you saw Mr. Musk?
One morning waking up and going and opening up the shades to the bedroom, and it's on the second floor, and it overlooks the balconies, our adjoining balconies, because my balcony joins with John and Amber's balcony. And that opening up the shades, I see Elon Musk going through the balcony door on their side to then walk down a common corridor to that then at the end leads to a door that you walk out to the rest of the rooftop. And you go to the pool, you go to the gym and stuff. So I'm looking out, and the view out the window is of both of our balconies. So that's where I saw him.
And when was that?
Oh, sometimes it's either June, July, but it's after May.
Mr. Bruce, how long have you known Mr. Depp?
Met him, I believe, in 1980, and what's 42 years? Well, it's going to be 42 years.
Have you ever seen Mr. Depp be violent when angry with Ms. Heard?
Objection, leading.
I'll allow the question, okay.
I'm allowed to answer?
Yes, yes.
What's the question again?
Have you ever seen Mr. Depp be violent when angry with Ms. Heard?
No. Well, from what I said from before, there was an argument that I walked in, so there's that, but have I ever seen him be violent to her with physicality? No.
Did you ever see him hit her?
Never.
In your 3.5 years living at the Eastern Columbia building next to Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard, did you ever observe any injuries or marks on Ms. Heard?
Objection, leading, Your Honor.
All right, I'll sustain as to leading.
Did you ever notice anything unusual about Ms. Heard when you were living at the Eastern Columbia building with her?
Objection, leading, Your Honor.
I'll allow it.
I can answer?
Yes, sir.
What's the question again?
Did you ever notice anything unusual about Ms. Heard during the time that you were living next door to her at the Eastern Columbia building?
Besides having great teeth? No.
Mr. Baruch, are you appreciative of everything that Mr. Depp has done for you?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading and relevant.
All right, I'll sustain as to leading. All right.
Mr. Baruch, how do you feel about what Mr. Depp has done for you?
Objection. Well, you know what? No, I'll go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. I think that's withdrawn. Go ahead. You can answer the question.
Oh.
Could just answer the question, sir.
And
Mr. Depp has done.
Your Honor.
I'll allow it.
I can answer?
Yes, sir.
What's the question again?
Did you ever notice anything unusual about Ms. Heard during the time that you were living next door to her at the Eastern Columbia building?
Besides having great teeth? No.
Mr. Baruch, are you appreciative of everything that Mr. Depp has done for you?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading and relevant.
All right, I'll sustain as to leading. All right.
Mr. Baruch, how do you feel about what Mr. Depp has done for you?
Objection. Well, you know what? No, I'll go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. I think that's withdrawn. Go ahead. You can answer the question.
Oh.
Could just answer the question, sir.
And the question is?
How do you feel about everything that Mr. Depp has done for you?
Oh, come on. It's unreal. It's, you think too much about it, you're going to cry. That I appreciate everything that he's done for me. It's like stuff you can't pay back.
Would you lie for him under oath?
Oh, no.
Leading.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Have you given truthful testimony today, sir?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
It's still leading. I'll sustain the objection.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. All right. Cross-examination.
Let's start with the makeup. Now, you know that Ms. Heard was...
Excuse me. I didn't hear the beginning of what you started saying.
I said, let's start with the makeup.
Okay.
Okay. You're aware that Ms. Heard has both modeled and been an actor and had been for many years before you met her, correct?
I knew she acted. I didn't know she was a model.
Okay. Were you aware that she had a commercial agreement with L'Oreal, for example?
When, now or back then?
What's your knowledge?
I don't know any of that.
Okay. Have you ever been with Ms. Heard when she has put makeup on?
I've been in the room, yeah, when makeup was getting put on her, yeah.
When makeup was being put on her, was this for some acting role or something like that?
It was an event that they were going to.
I know, right, Gene?
So that was somebody else applying makeup to Ms. Heard, who was going to have some gala event that she was going to.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been with Ms. Heard in her bathroom or anything when she's applying her makeup in the morning?
No.
Okay. Are you familiar with Amica cream?
What is it?
Amica?
Amica?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Do you know what type of foundation Ms. Heard uses?
No.
Do you know what type of concealer Ms. Heard uses?
No.
Do you know what type of tint Ms. Heard uses?
I have no clue.
Do you know what types of powders Ms. Heard uses?
No.
Okay. So when you're saying that you didn't notice any makeup, would it be fair to say that you yourself are not familiar with what type of makeup Amber Heard uses on a daily basis?
I don't know what she uses on a daily basis.
That's my point. Now, the first time that you saw her, which was May 22nd,
Yeah.
Ms. Heard was there. Were you aware she was on her way to somebody else's birthday party? Not yours, but somebody else's that day?
No.
Okay. Can you tell me what her hairstyle was that day?
It was just down.
Down as in?
Just regular. She has it up now. She's got some kind of hairstyle, but no, she was no hair down, regular, no makeup, just hanging.
Well, when you say no makeup, you don't know she was not wearing makeup, correct?
For a fact?
Correct.
No.
And you don't know whether she had applied Amica cream, correct?
No.
And
I didn't even know what Amica cream is.
And you don't know whether she had applied concealer or foundation or powder or tint, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, if she's going out to a party,
Yeah.
do you think she would want to have her bruise exposed?
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
Calls for speculation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Okay.
Next question.
So, do you recall what Ms. Heard was wearing that day?
You know something? I could have sworn she had on a schmata dress, hippie dress at that particular time, but I could be confusing it with June 3rd. She's got this Victorian type of long hippie dress that has embroidery, and she definitely was wearing that night.
All right, but let's go back to May 22nd. Do you
Yeah.
recall what she was wearing?
I could have swore she was wearing another schmata dress that I've seen her hanging around the apartment with.
And do you recall what color?
No.
Okay. Do you recall what jewelry Ms.
No.
Heard was wearing that day? No. Okay. Now, you indicated that there was a security guard there, and there
Yes.
was Josh Drew, correct? And was there anyone else there?
Yeah, the two locksmiths.
Okay. So
And also in the apartment, for a fleeting second, a person went walking by and who seemed to me looked like it was Raquel Pennington, but it could have been another friend that was supposedly staying with them.
Okay, so you saw somebody come by. So how many?
No, go through the living room and then they're out of the picture because they went upstairs. So that's somebody that else was in that room but walking by.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you talked to Josh. What did Josh tell you? Josh
When?
Drew, he took you to the side. What did he tell you?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain the objection to hearsay.
All right. Before you spoke with Josh Drew in the other room, what, if anything, had been said about what Mr. Depp did the night before?
Objection to the extent it calls for hearsay, Your Honor.
All right, be a hearsay objection. I'll sustain that objection. Next
I'm asking what, if anything?
that was still solicit hearsay.
But he already testified about what Amber said. I'll go back to that.
Okay.
So what exactly did Amber Heard tell you happened the night before?
As I was walking up the first time, she turned to me and said, Johnny came by last night and got violent. So I'm changing the locks on penthouse 1, 3, and 5. Don't worry about your place.
Okay. Did you ask her for any more specifics on what
About
she meant by
changing
getting
locks?
violent?
Huh?
Did you ask her for any specifics about what she meant by he came by and got violent?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to jump you to the next day for a few, and then I'm going to come back. But let's go to the next day. So the next day, you testified that you saw her twice, correct?
From Sunday? No. Monday I saw her once in the morning. I want to
That's
say
when she
around
came
12.
by to ask if you could have the key, or that you could leave the key for the house.
Right,
right?
for Hilda.
And you weren't feeling well, right?
That's right.
Okay. So you wouldn't have been standing very close to Amber, right? Because you were sick?
Well, I opened up the door and I'm holding the door. We're like 3 feet away from each other. Yeah.
Okay. And you told her you were sick, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know where she was going out someplace, correct?
She was going somewhere.
All
yeah.
right.
She wasn't going to be there.
All right. Do you know whether she had applied any Amica cream that morning to her face?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any concealer to her face that morning?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any foundation that morning?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any tint that morning?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any powder that morning?
No.
Now, the next day...
I can tell you, she looked like she wasn't wearing any makeup.
Right. And would you agree that people who are models and actors can be pretty darn good with putting makeup on so that you can't tell they're wearing makeup?
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation calls for speculation.
I think that's a fair question to ask him.
I'll sustain as a speculation.
All right.
Next question.
Do you have any knowledge of the skills of Amber Heard with respect to putting on makeup?
Well, it can't be that good because she's got a friend who is a makeup artist who came over to do makeup, but I don't really know.
Right, and that makeup artist that comes over does it when she's going to be on some show or in some big public event or gala, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makeup person, and you're talking about Melanie Iglesias, right?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Okay. And that
exactly.
makeup person doesn't put Amber's makeup on every day for her, does she?
I wouldn't know.
How many times did you see Melanie Iglesias put makeup on Amber?
One time.
Okay.
It's just one time.
Okay. So she wasn't living at Amber's house, right?
No. I hung out with her and her husband and Johnny and Amber and over there one time eating and then another time was when I met her that seeing her do makeup for these guys.
Okay. So you're not saying that Amber doesn't know how to put makeup on herself, correct?
Oh no, I'm sure she does.
Okay. But again,
I would think she does, but for the most, I'll tell you what, over 3.5 years living around each other, for the most part, she's not a makeup wearing person, completely natural. Her, Rocky, total great complexion, Texas natural girl next door, no makeup wearing, hanging out.
Did Amber ever tell you she was not wearing makeup?
Did she ever tell me?
In any of those 3.5 years that you're saying she wasn't wearing it around the house, did she ever say, I don't have a stitch of makeup on?
As many times as she's told me, I am wearing makeup, which is, I can't remember. So I don't know. Yeah, no. There's not one time I remember that or saying that.
Okay. So now let's go to the next day. I think that's the day you've got the 2 times that you saw her. She's with other people.
Yeah.
And she's either going out or coming in, correct?
Well, first time they're coming in, and the second time they're going out.
So they've been out someplace before they're coming in, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation.
I'll allow it. You can answer the question, sir.
Oh, I have no clue.
Okay. But they're physically entering the house. In other words, they haven't been in the house, they're coming to the house from someplace, right?
Oh, I would have no idea. When I walked out, who knows? They might have been out and in twice before that, but I don't know. They could be coming from another apartment, coming, to go there. And I'm seeing them, it could be the second time that they're entering this apartment, or the first time, or the third time. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
And do you know, so you don't know where they were?
No,
And
of
so you
course
have
not.
no idea whether they were out in public someplace, correct?
No, of course not. I wouldn't know that.
All right. And then the later time that you saw them that day, they were going out. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you know whether Amber had any Amica cream on that day?
No, I don't know.
And I'll try to make this faster. Do you know whether Amber was wearing concealer, foundation, powder, or tint that day?
I don't know.
Okay. Now, the next day, I think you said it was she and Whitney. Is that correct?
On Wednesday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, do you know whether she was wearing any Amica cream?
Sir, if you could just answer
I'm
the
sorry.
question.
I'm totally sorry. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you, sir.
Okay. I think you said it was she and Whitney. Is that correct?
On Wednesday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, do you know whether she was wearing any Amica cream?
Sir, if you could just answer
I'm
the
sorry.
question.
I'm totally sorry. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you, sir.
That, no.
And do you know whether she was wearing concealer, foundation, powder, or tint?
No.
Okay. Can you tell me what Amber's hairstyle was on the 23rd?
That's Monday. Like I said, when she knocks on my door, hands down.
Okay. Can you tell me what she was wearing that day?
Not exactly, but if best of my recollection, pair of dungarees and a t-shirt.
Okay.
At the time when she knocked on my door to give me the key. If she went home to go change or something like that, I got no clue.
Okay. Do you remember what color the t-shirt was?
I think it might have been white, best of my recollection.
Do you remember what jewelry Amber had on?
Oh.
Okay, let's go to the next day, the Wednesday, and you've got all these people here.
Next day is Tuesday.
Okay, next day, Tuesday, is when you had the bunch of people coming together to her house the first time, right?
Right.
What was she wearing then?
You want to know something? I do remember of a women's beige long coat, kind of like a woman's, not a raincoat, but it could be similar to that. It was a beige, long, kind of looking like a business coat type of thing, the female version of a Columbo jacket.
Okay, and what was she wearing under it?
Oh, I have no clue.
Okay, and do you remember what jewelry she was wearing?
No.
Okay. Now, you said that on the 22nd that you kissed her on the cheek.
What day?
The 22nd, your birthday?
22nd, Sunday, yes.
Okay, so when you showed it the first time, you went like this, right? And then the next time when you said you did the kisses, you went like this. What's your typical way of kissing women when you greet them or say goodbye?
I'm not understanding any of what you just did.
Okay, so when you, well, I'll just leave it at Amber. When you, I take it that you would regularly kiss Amber on the cheek when you to say hello and to say goodbye?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And tell us how you did that.
Objection,
Could you just
Your Honor.
show us how you did that?
Which time? Regularly? Oh,
Did you have a different way of kissing her on the cheek different times? Or did you have a general way that you would greet or say goodbye to Amber with kisses?
It's a regular, you give a peck on the cheek, or, like you just touch cheeks and
Okay.
that's that.
So it's a pretty soft, it's kind of like almost a superficial one, or is it a really hard one on the cheek?
No, it's, you kiss someone on the side of the cheek. I don't know, pressure-wise, what kind of talk is there?
I mean, is it just
talk?
one of these little pecks, or is it much harder?
No, it's a regular. You touch, you touch and boink, and that's that.
So you think it was pretty hard? You peck her on the cheek pretty hard every time?
objection, Your Honor.
No, I'll sustain the objection if you want the next question.
Okay. You also showed that you did one like this. Did you ever do a two kiss when you greeted Amber? Two cheeks?
No, I'm not European. I'm from Brooklyn.
No.
You give, Europeans do the,
All right.
both sides. Sometimes you even three. Bam, bam, bam. But
you never did that?
No.
All right, let's go to the fake punch. I want to make sure that I understand exactly what you remember seeing.
Yeah.
You said that it was 2 to 3 weeks into June. Is that correct? That you saw it?
It's got to be somewhere in that period.
Okay.
To somewhere in the first three, I would say the first 3 weeks of June.
All right.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Can you recall which week?
No.
Okay. So you saw Whitney and Amber. Was there anyone with them?
No.
Okay. Do you recall what either of them was wearing?
Long jackets. Yes, actually I do.
Okay.
Long jackets. Overcoats.
And how was Amber's hair styled that day?
Down. Pulled back.
Pulled back or
Well,
down?
it's when I say pull, it's like hair's down, maybe because of something around the neck or whatever, the hair is, flip back or whatever. Not tied back. I don't remember if it was tied back, but just where it's full. Full.
Okay.
That I remember.
Okay. So now where were they standing when you watched this?
This is where would they stand?
Yes.
They're standing, waiting for one of the elevators on the mezzanine floor where there's, I guess you could see, there's cameras that, has that view of the elevators
So
on the
they're on
mezzanine floor.
So they're on the mezzanine level.
Yeah, this is the same level. This is the same level. There's apartments on that level. And that's how the exit, how you get out to go to the garage.
And so were they coming back from the garage?
Well, if they're standing at the elevator outside, it could be, and waiting to get into the elevator on that floor. So it could be that maybe they came from outside, maybe they know somebody who lives on that floor, because there's apartments there. I got no clue where they're coming from. That's not even in the thought process. When I see this, it's not like, wow, I wonder where they're coming from.
Okay.
No. It's
Okay.
just
So now
what I saw.
tell me where they were each standing.
As I'm watching the video, this tape, Amber's on the left and Whitney's on the right.
Okay. And then just take us through. Tell me what you saw.
Amber's on the left, Whitney's on the right. They're hanging out. Can I stand up?
Yes, sir.
And so here's Amber, here's Whitney, and they're hanging, waiting for the elevator. And Whitney they're looking at each other, yapping or whatever they're doing, and Whitney goes like this. Pow. Just a fake pow. And then they both start laughing, and then they don't. And Whitney they're looking at each other, yapping or whatever they're doing, and Whitney goes like this. Pow. Just a fake goes like this.
All right, we're gonna be replaying this scene a couple of times. All right.
Pow. Just a fake pow. And then they both start laughing, and then they're just standing there doing the elevator. And Whitney they're looking at each other, yapping or whatever they're doing, and Whitney goes like this. Pow. Just a fake pow. And then they both start laughing, and then they're just standing there.
And then, just take us through. Tell me what you saw.
Amber's on the left, Whitney's on the right. They're hanging out. Can I stand up?
Yes, sir.
And so here's Amber, here's Whitney, and they're hanging, waiting for the elevator. And Whitney they're looking at each other, yapping or whatever they're doing, and Whitney goes like this. Pow. Just a fake pow. And then they both start laughing, and then they're just standing there doing what they're doing.
And how close does Whitney's fist get to Amber?
Oh, I'm watching this. It's a fake thing. It's not. It's
Right,
not
right.
like she went and she hit her own sister.
No, but I'm
She
asking
didn't go
how
and
close.
hit her. She just, going pow. If here's my face, if here's my face, it's just coming by. Fake punch going by. Just, that far.
Okay.
Just making believe. It's a
Okay.
believe punch.
Okay. And then they both laugh, you say.
Yeah, they both, they just start,
Did you watch them get on the elevator?
No.
Okay. So the part that you saw, the elevator never opened during that time.
That's right.
Okay.
That is correct.
And how many seconds would you say, or minutes would you say this little clip was?
Oh, what I saw was 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Okay. And do you recall?
Yeah, she's unstoppable. Yeah, definitely. Erin's invincible. Yep. Yes, indeed. It is 8:06 p.m. Central.
What day that was?
That I saw this?
No. Was there a date on the video?
Oh, I don't, if there was, it wasn't something that I acknowledged.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, now let's go back to the argument that you witnessed between Mr. Depp and actually Ms. Heard, who was on the phone or the speakerphone. Do you recall testifying about that?
Say this again, start again.
Yes, let's go back to, you testified that you observed an argument between Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard. Do you recall that? You came into the room, Mr. Depp had Amber on speakerphone. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Depp was drunk. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you recall that Amber was actually in London, not New York?
No.
You don't recall that?
No, I thought I thought it was she was in New York.
Okay. And you recall that Mr. Depp was accusing Amber of sleeping with somebody, right?
There was somebody else in the room with her, and that's what they were arguing about.
Are you sure that Mr. Depp wasn't thinking there was someone in the room and she was trying to tell him there wasn't somebody in the room?
He, say that again?
Are you sure he wasn't saying someone was in the room and she was trying to convince him there wasn't anybody in the room?
Well, he said that he heard the other voice.
Okay, and did you hear the voice?
Hello, Amy. Oh, welcome to the chat. It is great to see you. Hope you're having a good evening. And Yeah, Miranda, that is true, and they build a tolerance for it. Yeah, I agree. About the genes, yes, Miranda, I know about the genes. And sometimes we can't always control the hand that we're dealt, but we can control our reaction to things. Hello, Liberty. It's great to see you. Welcome.
Oh no, I walked in there already. This is already in motion.
Right, and Amber's saying, why are you saying that, right?
Amber was saying, "Come on, baby, why are you being like this? What are you doing? Come on, Johnny. There's no need. Why are you being like this?"
Right.
And it was.
Me too, Amy. My first time, I was an independent, and they were watching a Johnny Depp trial, and Independent's feed went out, but Law and Crime was on, so we went over there. So that's how I met y'all. Yeah.
Taunting.
How is it taunting to say, why are you accusing me of having somebody in my room?
Because they were in the midst of no solution. At that point, it would be if instead of taunting, saying, "Listen, John, let's talk tomorrow, and let's end this conversation right now, and we'll talk tomorrow, and we'll get to an understanding, because there's not going to be any solution right now." But there was none of that. It was just continuous. Oh baby,
So,
and that kept it going.
If Mr. Depp, in his drunken state, was suffering from delusions and thought he heard a voice and wasn't, do you think it would have been reasonable for Amber to be saying, "What's going on? Why are you saying this? What's going on?"
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
I'll allow the question, if you can answer it. You can answer the question, sir, if you...
Would I think it would be what?
If Mr. Depp was suffering from delusions and there wasn't anybody in the room and he hadn't heard a voice but thinks he's hearing a voice, would it be reasonable for Amber to be trying to figure out what's going on?
Objection, Your Honor. Hypothetical speculation.
I'll sustain as a speculation to that question.
And the bottom line is, you came in on the call, so you don't know what he said first or whether there was any voices, correct?
Whether he heard voices?
Yes.
Besides hers?
Yes.
No, I didn't hear the beginning of the conversation.
Okay. And then after the hang-up, he went straight to bed, right?
No, after the first hang-up, she calls back again, which was it necessary? I don't know. And then a third time.
Do you know whether she knew whether he accidentally hung up or not?
That he accidentally hung up?
Right. Do you know whether she knew whether he hung up intentionally or accidentally?
No, the same way that I wouldn't know if, she didn't know that the telephone line got cut.
Right. Okay. So after the 3 calls that you testified about, he went straight to bed, right?
Went to the couch and laid down.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was drunk.
Yeah, and he went to sleep. Yeah, he went out.
Do you know whether he'd taken any drugs that night?
No.
Okay. Now, you have known, you've already testified, you've known him for 42 years. You didn't pay rent at the penthouse, correct?
No, no one did.
Right.
You're welcome, Miranda. And also, Miranda, there's something called the Socratic method. I'll tell you all what that is. I'll put it in there. Oh, hold on.
Right. Okay. And then after you finished at the penthouse, you went over and lived with him in Sweetser, correct?
I live in one of his house that he owns on Sweetser.
And you still live there?
Yes.
And rent-free, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And has, other than the $100,000, you never paid that back, right? The $100,000 that he's given you?
No, that's a thing that's a thing for me, how I look at it and stuff, at some point I would love to pay back that money, but that's not something that is expected. He's expecting.
Would you say you're kind of beholden to Mr. Depp?
No, not beholden at all.
He's given you $100,000. He's put you in that nice.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the whole question. Can you say it again?
You were rent-free in penthouses for a number of years, and now you've been rent-free ever since in Sweetser?
That's a nice friend.
Yeah, okay. And I think you testified already, you're pretty angry with Ms. Heard, right?
When?
I wrote it down that you
about the phony pictures that were taken and put in tabloids, and about the fake narrative, and about and the way she's trying to got a fraudulent DV claim to extort and blackmail a man. That kind of got me frustrated, confused, angry, upset. Yes, which is why I said the best thing for us to do is not to talk to each other.
Okay.
Yes.
And was it fair to say you're still angry with her?
Oh, you know something? It's 6 years.
But we just heard you give your version.
Am I angry anymore? I'm not, what I am is tired, and I want this all to end. Her to go heal, him to go heal. So many people have been affected by this malicious lie that she started and she created, and it's gone out the door and around the world. And so I can't even paint anymore. I've stopped painting for the last who knows how many years. And that's affected by stuff. I'm not angry at anybody. I want the best for her to take her responsibility, heal, and move on. And for Johnny, his family has been completely wrecked by all of this stuff, and it's not fair. It's not right what she did and what happened for so many people to get affected from this. It's insane.
And Mr. Baruch,
how this happened.
And Mr. Baruch, if in fact she's telling the truth, and if in fact Mr. Depp, who has engaged in enormous rage and domestic abuse and violence of Amber over a period of time that you wouldn't know about, then maybe it's time for him to take responsibility, don't you think?
Objection, Your Honor.
Look at the look on his face. He did excellent. He cooked her. He can't even believe what he's looking at. He can't even believe what he's looking at. Like, he can't believe his ears. He's like, what on earth am I hearing? Yeah. And here we go, continuing.
Maybe it's time for him to take responsibility, don't you think?
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
Speculation. Lack of foundation. Relevance.
Speculation.
He just went off on this rant and rave about assuming that she's...
You asked questions.
I didn't ask a question that launched that.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
Okay,
right, next question.
I'll ask this.
Okay.
Mr. Baruch, you don't know whether Mr. Depp has committed domestic violence of Amber Heard, do you?
I never witnessed. I never saw or witnessed whatever type of claim that is being said, ever. Okay. I've never seen him be violent. since teenagers from first
I
meeting.
didn't ask you that. I said you don't know whether he has committed domestic violence or abuse on Amber Heard. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. I did not witness any physical violence.
But you have seen Mr. Depp use drugs as well as drink and be drunk, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now,
I've partaken.
I'm going to ask you to take a look. Let's pick up Depp exhibit number 116 again. It's already in. If we can have that published to the jury.
Ms. Birdhoff, how much more do you think you have?
I think I can finish it up if you give me 5 or 10 more minutes. Maybe less.
Okay, all right. I'll hold you to that. Okay.
So, Mr. Bruce, I just want to make sure that I understand. This is the penthouse thing, and you said...
Ms. Birdhoff, if you could go to the microphone, it's just hard to hear you.
Yeah, I just realized that.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
So, on this diagram, when you got out of the... You said 9:30 today, but in fact, it was between 9:30 and 10 that you came back with your friend, correct?
No, it was around 9:30. Could be 5 minutes one way, 5 minutes the other way. Could have been...
Do you recall saying it was between 9:30 and 10 earlier?
Today?
No.
Did I said that?
Do you recall, are you sure it was 9:30, give or take 5 minutes, or could it have been between 9:30 and 10?
It was 9:30, give or take 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes either way.
And you saw a broken sconce.
No, I did not see a broken sconce.
What did you see?
I saw a broken glass on the floor, shards of glass, pieces of glass, which I figured could have been a broken sconce, or possibly...
He has to talk like he's talking to a dumb person. I saw broken glass. Now he's going to have to explain what broken glass is. Amber's attorney is not really that witty, smart, or fast. She's coy and stupid. She needed to go... I don't know how she went through law school. She's dumber than a bag of potatoes. She was chopped up and created into a bag of Doritos. Good Lord. Scared.
Maybe something from the fire department stuff that's around the walls. So it could be something broken from that. But maybe one of the sconces broke. I didn't see a broken sconce. I just saw the glass.
Okay, was there typically a sconce right there as you come off the elevator?
Yeah, from my memory, there was sconces on the walls, certain places.
Do you remember looking that night and saying, where did this glass come from? There's a broken one. Did you tie it together?
No, it wasn't. It was an assumption. It had to come from some of those places because what the glass looked like to me looked like it might have come from one of those places.
Okay.
Could have been, maybe the sconce.
Okay, when you said from the fire thing, were you talking about the fire extinguisher?
No, not the fire extinguisher. There was in the hallway, that first hallway that you go through, the doors that you walk through after you get out of the elevator, those doors, they're fire doors that you close. All right, hopefully no one gets burned to death. That would be, crazy. But then along the wall, I believe, by the staircase, because there's a door that's next to penthouse 5, then there's the doorway, the stairwell door, and I believe there's a thing that's by the floor there, that's got a glass plastic thing around it, so it could have been something from that.
Your Honor, may I approach?
All right, yes, ma'am. Counsel.
I asked you a few minutes ago whether you you were sure that it was 9:30, give or take 5 minutes, or if it could have been somewhere between 9:30 and 10. Do you recall me asking that question?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you to take a look at page 39. Do you recall giving your deposition on November 20, 2019?
Oh, from down in Anaheim?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
And were you under
Deposition. That's
oath
the
at that
first-
time?
Well, that's, yeah. I
Okay, and
think I believe so, yeah.
It was about 2.5 years ago, wasn't it?
2, 3, like between 2 and 3 years, yeah, sure.
All right, so if you could take a look, starting on page 39.
Hang on a second.
And if you go to the line 21, where were you on the evening of May 21, 2016? And your answer was, all right. So I was out in the street. I was with a buddy of mine, calls me. He asked if I wanted to go out and eat. And I says, I just ate, just meet me. Let's meet at the apartment. Let's go hang out. So I met him at my apartment, probably, I want to say around 9:30 or a little bit later. I don't know. Yeah, between 9:30 and 10. Do you see that?
So I met him at my apartment, probably I want to say around 9:30 or...
Hey, Greg. Good to see you. We're having a good time in here. We're reacting to this funny scene from a trial, and chat is helping each other out and praying for each other and talking about different things. And helping, I really appreciate them very much. The Alien crew is doing great. And Greg, it's great to see you. Hope that you've been doing well yourself.
A little bit later, I don't know, yeah, between 9:30 and 10.
Okay.
And that ends up,
So does that refresh your recollection that it could have been a little bit, is somewhere between 9:30 and 10?
I go more with 9:30, give or take 5 minutes, because it could have been 9:20.
Okay.
It could have been 9:25. It could have been 9:35, but I go with 9:30.
Okay. And did you see any police officers?
No.
Okay. Did you ever hear any police officers?
No.
Okay. So let's go back to this 116 for a second. And you said that you saw a lot of wine right outside of
Wait a
Penthouse.
second, it's line 115?
Sorry. The exhibit that's in front of you on the screen.
Oh.
So you go by Penthouse. Now I have to hurry up to make my promise to Your Honor. So you see Penthouse 1 there, and you said that the wine was in that area, right?
It's in front of the door.
Okay.
It's a little, it's going to be 1.5 feet, 2 feet further north.
North, closer on the way to PH3?
No, it's right in front of the doorway. You have it past the doorway, the blue dot. It's,
that wasn't intentional.
it's just in front of that doorway.
There we go. Okay. Can you put the dot exactly where it was? Okay.
Can I move that up?
And how much wine was there?
It's a puddle.
It was a puddle.
A puddle of wine.
Could you walk past it without seeing it?
No.
It was, and could you tell a little bit about how much probably had been spilled of the wine? I mean, were we talking like a half a bottle, a bottle?
Looked like, a couple of glasses of wine making a puddle.
Okay.
Wasn't like a full bottle. That's
Okay.
That's a bit more.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, I do have another exhibit I need to put in, and I think that might take a little bit longer than a couple of minutes.
Well, how much time were you talking?
Well, I can do it as fast as I can.
You
but-
can try.
Okay,
good.
then can we Heather, can you pick up, well, it's going to be Plaintiff's Exhibit 548. Now, do you have a recollection of Mr. Depp having a volatile relationship with his earlier partner, Vanessa Paradis?
No, but then again, I wasn't. I met her a couple of times. I wasn't. We weren't. Our paths weren't crossing at that particular time when they were together.
All right. Do you recall Mr. Depp ever referring to a circumstance with her as carnage?
What's the relevance?
We're talking, he's trying to give character testimony here, and I'll tell you what, I'll move to a different one.
All right.
Now, you said that Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard were, you said that they were always nice to each other?
Yeah.
Do you ever remember Mr. Depp referring to Amber with the term cunt?
Like to her face?
No, to you. Calling.
All right.
Now, you said that Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard were, you said that they were always nice to each other?
Yeah.
Do you ever remember Mr. Depp referring to Amber with the term cunt?
Like to her face?
No, to you. Calling her a cunt to you.
Maybe in a text.
All right. Did he do it more than once in a text?
I would have no recollection of that. I mean, he's called me a cunt in a text. So, I mean, it could be. I don't know how many texts. If there's something specific, if you could show me a text, that would be a different story. But I don't. You know, we've had many texts together. Many you know.
Okay, let's go to line 57 then. It would be section 57 of the exhibit that I have in front of me. Now, this is a text message between you and Mr. Depp. Do you see that?
Well, there's 80 million texts on
If you go down to 50, go to the one that's number 57.
57 from.
Objection, Your Honor.
This is from me to him?
I'm sorry.
May I approach?
Okay, sure.
All right, does this refresh your recollection that Mr. Depp referred to Amber Heard as a cunt, and in fact, cunt's rotting corpse is decomposing?
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection if you could rephrase.
I'll ask it differently. Do you recall Mr. Depp ever telling you that he, in base terms,
Good night, Amy. Thank you for being here, being with us in the prayers. We appreciate you very much. Chat, excellent. Y'all doing excellent. Good night, Amy. God bless.
hoped that Amber's rotting corpse is decomposing
Objection,
in
Your
the
Honor.
trunk of a Honda Civic?
I'll allow it.
I'm not understanding the question. Say it again.
Do you recall Mr. Depp ever telling you that he hoped that Amber Heard's rotting corpse is decomposing in the fucking trunk of a Honda Civic?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
You can answer the question.
Rotting corpse.
All right, we're going to replay that.
Ever telling you that he hoped that Amber Heard's rotting corpse is decomposing in the fucking trunk of a Honda Civic?
Objection.
ever telling you that he hoped that Amber Heard's rotting corpse is decomposing in the fucking trunk of a Honda Civic?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
You can answer the questions.
Yeah, I say yeah. I'm seeing it here, so obviously, yeah, it was said.
Okay.
It was written.
And then go to 59, please. And when you had to move out of the penthouse to go to Sweetser, do you recall Mr. Depp telling you that this was Amber's fault and referring to her as a cunt?
Can I read this
Yes,
thing
please.
first, so that
Yes,
way I
please.
see what's going on? So now, I've just read this, and I understand. I remember this exactly because this is the period of time. I'm moving, and that he's selling the apartments, and there's people who are coming over. I'm still living there, and it would have been better off if I moved out, so that way then the real estate people can look at it and not come in and look at the kind of paintings that I make and all that kind of crap.
But my question to you is, do you recall Mr. Depp calling Amber Heard a cunt and saying that it was her fault?
Well, it's written there, so yeah, I could see that.
Okay.
So well, I don't. That's not what he says. He says that cunt ruined such a fucking cool life we had for a while. I don't know. That's
And he
not.
says, I can't even look at the building anymore, correct?
Right. I can't even
Right.
look at the building
And he's selling
anymore.
it, right?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to move the admission of those two limited. Oh, excuse me, one moment.
Objection, Your Honor. There are some, it's a significant exhibit. There's definitely some hearsay in there.
I think I'll reserve on the entry of that, okay, and we can discuss it later time, okay? Are you done?
I don't know. My co-counsel said I should go with
I'm not going to public, I'm reserving on whether, so are we done with cross?
Yes.
Okay, and redirect briefly? We're going to be done with this witness before lunch.
Okay.
There we go.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mr. Baruch, do you recall that Ms. Bredehoff was just asking you some questions about some text messages you received from Mr. Depp?
Yeah.
Do you recall when those text messages were sent?
No, I'd have to look at them again and look at the date.
Could you display it to the witness again, please?
And I believe we looked at lines 59. Excuse me, 57. Do you see the date of when you received that text message?
All right, hang on. October, November. It was the month before. It was the month before I moved out. Okay.
When was that text message sent?
It says 10/18/2016. That's October. I moved out the next month, so in November. So this is from October.
So was that message sent several months after Ms. Heard made claims against Mr. Depp of domestic violence?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'll allow it.
Yes, of course. This is after this whole fiasco that she started.
And if we look at line 61,
What am I looking? 6.
What's the date on that message?
It's 10/28, October.
We can take that down. Mr. Baruch, Ms. Bredehoff asked you a series of questions about the security video from the Eastern Columbia building that you observed. Do you recall that?
Yeah, the PAL.
When did you understand that footage was from?
Objection, you already asked and answered, you said you didn't recall.
I'll sustain it, asked and answered.
Did you have an understanding at the time that you saw that video of when it was from?
Objection, Your Honor, same question.
I'll sustain the objection.
Ms. Bredehoff also asked you a series of questions about the argument that you overheard between Ms. Hurd and Mr. Depp on the phone. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And you could hear Ms. Hurd's voice on that phone, right?
Yeah.
Do you recall if that was a FaceTime call or if it was just regular speakerphone?
Just this speakerphone.
And what did you understand her tone to be on that call that you overheard?
Objection, Your Honor. What would you understand her tone to be?
I'll allow it if you can answer. It's fine.
Taunting, egging on, almost demeanoring the baby talk.
I would object, Your Honor, and move to strike.
Yeah, I'll sustain the objection as to his answer, and I'll strike it.
The whole answer, Your Honor?
The answer, yes.
I believe you testified that Mr. Depp hung up the phone during that conversation. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Did you understand that Mr. Depp was trying to end the argument by hanging up the phone?
Objection to what his understanding of what Mr. Depp was trying to do.
All right, I'll sustain. As to past speculation.
Your Honor, he heard the phone call and he was there to directly
But
observe.
what Johnny Depp's intention was, I'll sustain his objection.
I know what my intent.
Sir,
Oh, I'm sorry.
okay, thank you. Wait for the question. Thank you, sir.
What was your understanding of your intent with respect to hanging up the phone on that
Objection, Your Honor.
conversation?
He already asked and answered when he said he hung it up, and so.
It was asked and answered. I'll sustain the objection. Okay. Next question.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness subject to recall?
Possibly, Your Honor.
There's a silence. Okay, so yes or no, or not for you, not from you?
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
for us.
All right, sir, since you're subject to recall, that means that you may be called again to testify at some point. So that means until that time, the rule on witnesses still is in place for you. So you cannot have any outside information or talk to anybody about your testimony here today. And don't look at any information about this on the news, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. You're free to go at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so
use conflict resolution in a more appropriate manner and learning to express things more rationally rather than express things as irrational as they have been expressed. And for that, there were a lot of negativity being sworn at. So again, erratic behavior in terms of...
This is what the bird that what Miranda, rather, was talking about, the unibrow bird. This is what the dude looks like them.
writing a text, but I have no problem with people being angry. Okay, none whatsoever. It's just the expressing of it and the continual ranting of it was very uncomfortable for me to read. But regardless, I think we have seen in terms of erratic behavior, much of the psychological and the physical maltreatment we talked about.
Objection beyond the scope of the question.
I don't agree.
Sustain next question.
Okay. Mr. Depp is 58 years old. Are the behaviors that you have been describing for the jury, are those typical and age-related?
No, so while I don't consider 58 years old, I'm 59, okay? I will tell you that the age-related changes that occur in humans are very erratic, hit and miss, meaning they'll occasionally be there. You may need a little bit more time to answer a question or pull things out of memory. You're just a little bit slow and a lot more inconsistently slow. You wouldn't describe what Dr. Blaustein's changes were or what I saw in the deposition attributed to age.
Dr. Spiegel, what is Seroquel?
Seroquel or quetiapine is actually an atypical antipsychotic, which is indicated for many things, including schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, adjunctive treatment for major depression. So it's indicated for a lot of things.
But what effects may it have? I mean, this is one of the drugs that Mr. Depp was taking,
yes.
Correct? It was a prescribed drug?
Yes.
Okay. Please explain.
So the effect of Seroquel is it's very often used as a sleeping agent because it doesn't have a lot of the side effects that are associated with conventional antipsychotics, movement disorders, tardive dyskinesia, et cetera, or at least it's a very low risk of that. So people have used it off-label, physicians have used it off-label to help them sleep. The problem is the effect is very barbiturate-like, and it really knocks people out, or certainly if you use it at high enough doses it can, okay? And the problem is it also has street value. So it's absolutely used on the street for that downer-like effect, and obviously it's a little bit more readily available because it's prescribed. So it does have that street value portion of it.
And Dr. Spiegel, what effect would this have on Mr. Depp based on the dosages he was taking?
So I think what you're looking at is a...
Objection, speculation.
Overruled. Please continue.
What you will see in patients who have substance use disorders are people who unfortunately kind of wake up and fall asleep only through pharmacological.
Then the statistical and the investigative analysis was done on the social media campaign. It turned out that 1 in 4 of the statements were
Right. The mere fact that there were activities after the Waldman statements.
This is Amber Heard's witness, entertainment consultant.
Doesn't establish that the Waldman statements caused any damages, does it?
when you look at the time frame of when the Waldman statements came out and you look at what was going on with Ms. Heard's career prior to the statements and what happened after the statements, it's very clear to make that correlation that they were caused by those statements and the campaign that followed afterwards in terms of the negative social media.
Well, all right, that's an interesting thing because the witness this morning actually described the notion of what's correlation and what's causation. And correlation does not imply causation, does it, ma'am?
I'm not an expert in semantics.
Okay. But you're an expert who is purporting to say that Ms. Heard lost between $45 and $50 million. And I'm trying to understand where you put the link between the Waldman statements and all the other activity that occurred since then?
As I stated and very clearly wanted to make sure that everybody understood was that it was a time frame between which the Waldman statements were made and the negative decline in her career started happening, and in discussions with her agents and her publicists, there was a very tight timeline and a very close link to when those statements came out and when everything started pulling away from Ms. Heard.
Right, but what you're talking about is just a link in time. You do not put any causal connection between what Mr. Waldman purportedly said and the damages that Ms. Heard purportedly suffered. You have no idea whether Mr. Waldman's statements caused any damage to Ms. Heard, do you?
Well, actually, both the words in the statements were used as hashtags in the campaign, as well as when the statistical and the investigative analysis was done on the social media campaign. It turned out that 1 in 4 of the statements had Waldman or Waldminian in them. So that was another connection that I was able to make between the defamatory statements and the negativity that the studios and the product endorsements and the television and the press connected as well.
All right, let's start with first principles. If they're true, they're not defamatory, correct?
Again, that's outside of the scope of my expertise.
All right, let's then go back to what you just testified to, and I think you said the Waldman statements appeared in hashtags.
I said words from the Waldman statements appeared in hashtags.
Right, and the hashtags that were analyzed, however, don't have the Waldman statements in the hashtag.
I've also seen them online myself.
Well, but the analysis that Mr. Schnell did, he looked at 4 of them, right?
That was Schnell's analysis, and I do believe I remember reading that, yes.
All right. And the 25% that you just raised, that's Mr. Schnell's analysis. You didn't do that. He did it.
Correct.
All right. So you know what Mr. Schnell did. And he didn't look at hashtags that contained the Waldman statement words. He looked at Justice for Johnny Depp, right?
That's one of them, yes?
One of them, of the 1.2 million hits that you talked about, that was 900,000, 984,000?
Well, also in my conversations with Mr. Schnell, we talked about all of the words that were in the statement that also appeared. So what he wrote in his report and what I had in my conversation may not have been the same thing.
Ma'am, I don't want to hear about your conversation with Mr. Schnell.
It's part of what I relied on, and I'm allowed to talk about that.
All right. So your conversation with Mr. Schnell, let's move beyond that. Let's talk about what the other hashtags were. Amber Heard is an abuser. That's not in the Waldman statement, is it?
The fact that she was called a hoax can be related to Amber Heard as an abuser, but no, those words were not used, correct?
Right. And we just don't like Amber. That's not in the Waldman statement.
Correct.
Right. And Amber Turd is not in the Waldman statement.
Correct.
Right. None of those things are. It's not in the Waldman statement.
Correct.
Right. And Amber Turd is not in the Waldman statement.
Correct.
Right. None of those things are. And in terms of the use of the words fraud and hoax, that appeared in only 6.5% of the millions of tweets that Mr. Schnell analyzed, right?
I don't have his definition or his report in front of me, but we can look at it together if you'd like to.
Right. And you said Waldman appears in 25%. Waldman or Waldminian.
According to Mr. Schnell, yes.
No, all right. But if that's your only evidence, however, that any of this activity has any link to Mr. Waldman. Is that correct?
Well, no, we also look at the timeline because those campaigns were not active prior to the Waldman statements, and then they started appearing, so there is some connectivity there as well.
Mr. Depp bears no responsibility for the social media campaigns. He doesn't. if the social media campaigns caused Ms. Heard to lose her ability to generate income, that's not the Waldman statements. That's a social media campaign.
I'm going to object, Your Honor. May we approach?
Okay.
Hilarious, chat. Hilarious. Yeah, that was funny. Amber Turd is not in there. Yeah, oh my goodness. The memes of this time were so funny.
All right, so I'm just looking for all evidence of the causal connection that you claim exists between the $45 million in damages that you assert and the 3 statements made by Mr. Waldman.
Well, I also looked at Ms. Heard's career after the divorce proceedings and other lawsuits that she was either involved with or was discussed. And her career might have had a pause, but she was able to overcome that when she did Aquaman and she did The Stand, both very prominent productions. And there was no dramatic downturn in her career after any publicity.
Ma'am, I don't mean to interrupt you, but do you have notes with you?
No, there's dust.
Oh, okay.
It's just dust, and I'm just distracting myself. I guess
I'm sorry.
It's just nerves. It's really just that. There's just
that's okay.
Dust. Sorry.
So you looked at her career, and you looked at the way her career was moving.
Right. So as I was saying, her career was moving forward, and even she had been able to overcome the negative publicity surrounding the divorce or the initial filing of the UK lawsuit and the other lawsuits, anything that she was associated. She overcame that. She did Justice League, and she did Aquaman, and she did The Stand, and she got the L'Oreal contract all after that. The only time her career slowed down and stopped was at the same time that those defamatory statements came out. So.
But there was a lot of other activity that happened following the defamatory statements. You said every time Mr. Depp files a lawsuit, it ignites the fire around the both of them, right?
No, I actually said it ignites the fire mostly around Mr. Depp. That was excuse me, please.
I'm sorry.
That was in context of when I was asked about Mr. Depp's career. That was not in context of when I was asked about Ms. Heard's career.
It's not the same fire?
It is and isn't. Who's the protagonist in the case in the UK was Mr. Depp. Ms. Heard was a witness to that case. She was not a part of the case. So most of the negative press went.
There was enormous amounts of negative activity around Ms. Heard as a result of the UK case. Isn't that true?
There was negativity, yes, about both of them in the case, yes.
Right. Substantial amounts of negativity.
Right.
Right? And so you can't tell me that that negativity isn't the thing that keeps or Ms. Heard from working.
Well, again, it was a close time frame. The negative statements were a much closer time frame to the press and publicity around Aquaman and The Stand than the UK case, which was months later. So again, I will look at the defamatory statements as kind of the igniting force, and it was promoted and kind of more oxygen was put on the fire when the UK case came out. So it kind of became a snowball effect of the match was lit and it kept getting stronger and stronger.
Right, but Ms. Heard isn't claiming a causal connection between the UK case and her damages, right?
No.
All right. And you can't distinguish between the UK bad publicity and the bad publicity that derived after the Waldman statements.
What time frame are you talking about with the bad publicity from the UK case, so we can at least be specific on time frames?
Well, you talked about a 5-year time window.
a 5-year time window from 2020 to the 2 years that we're at now, plus the 3 years moving forward, is what I talked about in terms of the time frame that it would take someone who's been under this much duress to kind of rehabilitate their career. That's when we talked about the 5 years.
Right, that's when you talked about the 5 years. So you look over this 5-year window, and during the period that precedes this window, there's lots and lots of negative press about Ms. Heard, irrespective of the Waldman statements, correct?
Before the Waldman statements, as I said, she was able to overcome that, and she got great jobs and was getting endorsement contracts.
Right, but after the Waldman statements, there is more activity in the press, there's more social media activity, and you cannot put a causal connection between that activity and what Mr. Waldman said.
It can be the instigating event, if you want me to call it that. We'll call the Waldman statements the instigating event of a torrential rain of social media tactics that has gone on for years, yeah.
The instigating event, and therefore your damage analysis with some degree, I guess, of reasonable certainty is that once there's an instigating event, everything that happens thereafter is fair game for damages?
Well, it's like a fire. If one tree burns and then more air or wind is added to it, then the next tree burns and the whole forest burns. But if that first fire hadn't started with the one tree, there would have been no loss of acreage. So you can look at it with that same analogy.
Trees burn one at a time, don't they, ma'am?
You know, I'm not a firefighter. I'm not going to go there with you, but obviously we know that a single match can cause thousands of acres to burn, so we can leave it at that.
I think I went there with you. All right, let's do this. You decided that there were a number of persons that you described as comparable in order to determine what Ms. Heard was likely to make over time, correct?
Yes.
All right. Of those comparable actors and actresses, is there a single one who has had any press suggesting that they defecated in the marital bed?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You would agree with me that that is a negative influence with respect to Hollywood?
If one believed it, yes.
Yeah, if one believed it, you know, it was reported.
Yes. Yeah, it certainly has been discussed. We don't have any proof or video of anybody defecating on the bed.
I certainly do not have proof video of anybody defecating in a bed. I'll give you that.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. But what you know is that Mr. Waldman didn't say anything about defecating in a bed.
Correct.
Right. So all of the bad publicity around that activity has nothing to do with Waldman, right?
Waldman, as you said, didn't talk about defecation.
Okay. And you haven't considered how that story has adversely impacted Ms. Heard's career.
That story, you're going to ask me for a causal link between that poop story and her demise of her career. I can't. No, I'm not going to do that, nor can I.
You couldn't do it?
Can I make it? No, I can't.
Right. And you can't do it with Waldman's statements either, can you?
Well, again, I did, and I have, and I stand by them. So
you did by just pointing out the time frames are relatively close.
The time frame and the instigation and if you will, the rallying of the forces. Again, it's like a lit tree. It's going to ignite everything. It's like free game afterwards. So it was the instigating event, if you will, and that's what I looked at, yes.
All right. So from your perspective, anything that happened after Waldman that was negative to your client is attributable to Waldman and therefore attributable to the damage analysis that you made?
I was tasked with looking at that specifically, and that's what I was asked to limit it to. I was not asked to look at anything else.
All right. Jason Momoa, that's one of your comparables, right?
Yes.
He's been prominent since 1999. He was in Baywatch in 99. 44 episodes on Baywatch. Do you know that?
You can look it up if you did. I'll go with that.
Right. But you remember him on Baywatch.
Actually, didn't watch Baywatch, but
All right.
he certainly had the physique for it, so.
Stargate, Atlantis, he was on that. Many episodes.
Right?
Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay. He played Conan the Barbarian.
In TV or film?
Film.
Okay. I don't have Mr. Momoa's resume memorized, so.
No, I'm just trying to understand how you came to the conclusion they're comparable, because I'm just want to spend a few minutes talking about Mr. Momoa's career. Game of Thrones was one of the most popular things on TV for a period of 3 years, correct?
Yes, he was.
And he was in Game of Thrones.
Yes, he was.
Yep. And he's Aquaman, right?
Yes, he is.
Right. And he's the title character in Aquaman.
Yes.
Yeah. And he was actually Aquaman in a movie before the Aquaman movie started.
You mean Justice League and other things like that, yeah.
Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. Wasn't he in that as Aquaman?
I didn't see that one.
Didn't see it.
No.
Miss Heard wasn't in that movie, was she?
Not that I know of, no.
No. And he was in both Justice League movies.
Correct.
Yeah. And he's in Aquaman 2.
Yes.
They used him in the second Lego movie. Right?
Yes.
He's one of the most heroic characters in the recent Dune blockbuster.
Which happened post Aquaman.
Right. In fact, likely his character...
He's not the lead, though.
No.
In Dune, no, he's not the lead.
Did you ever read Dune?
Pardon?
Did you ever read Dune?
No, but I've seen the movie.
Okay. Do you understand whether his character will come back from the dead in the third movie?
As again, I didn't read the book, so he might. I don't know. We're just talking about that one movie.
That might be a bit of a spoiler.
Oh, man. Dude.
He's one of the principal leads in the new Fast and Furious franchise movie Fast X, right?
I don't know that for sure, no.
Okay. But that's not the career path that Ms. Heard has had. She's never been the title character in a movie. She hasn't spent years on television. She did, what, 8 TV shows? 8 single episodes of TV?
Again, I don't have her resume. If you want to show it to me, we can count them together.
All right. Mr. Momoa remains well-liked even though he's engaged in a recent divorce from another actor. That's correct, right?
I don't know. I don't follow his fan base.
You don't follow Jason Momoa, but you use him as a comparable to come up with a $45 million.
I said I don't follow his fan base. I understand him as a prominent actor in the business, but I don't follow his fan base.
Isn't fan base one of the things that you analyze?
Of course, you can look at numbers, but I don't keep a watch on his social media feeds.
All right. All right. You indicated that Gal Gadot is in Wonder Woman.
Yes, she's a star.
She's in fact Wonder Woman.
I know, she's good too.
Yep. All right. She's the title character, and there's been now multiple Wonder Woman movies, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And even before that, she was in franchise films.
Which one are you referring to?
Fast and Furious.
Excuse me, I honestly don't remember her being that as one of the main characters. I know it's The Rock and that
You
whole
didn't even know she was in the Fast and Furious franchise.
I've seen it on her resume, but I didn't. Again, I'm not a fan of the Fast and Furious.
All right. You'll agree with me that Wonder Woman is a more prominent role than Mira?
If you're going to talk about apples to apples in that exact movie, yes.
Right. What about, does Mira have any, self-titled franchise films?
Not yet.
No. And Ms. Goodell played a much bigger role in the movie they were in together, the Justice League movie.
In what movie they were in together? Oh, in Justice League?
Yeah.
I haven't counted the screen time, so I can't really say.
Okay. You indicated that another person that you compared Ms. Heard with is Zendaya. Right?
Zendaya, yeah.
Person so famous she goes by one name.
I guess when you have a name that's a Z, it works, I guess.
Right. She's been on the Disney Channel since she's 13 years old.
Right.
Right? She's won an Emmy.
Yes, she did.
Right. She was singing and dancing and swinging from trapezes in The Greatest Showman, right?
Yes.
Yeah. She's now been in multiple Spider-Man movies.
Yes.
She's 10 years younger than your client.
Right.
Yeah. But this is a person that you deemed a comparable.
Well, as I was explaining to you how I chose them, when you look at superhero characters, there's not that many to pull from. So I just I worked on pulling characters that were in superhero movies that were about the same age range within 10 years, as you've noted to me, thank you. And also just where her career would have gone. I said that they were comparables, they're not identical. So you can just look at what their career has done either before that superhero movie, then in others, or the one they were in, and then you look at where her career should have gone. Even though she may not have been at the stature of a Zendaya at that time, you can still look at it as a comparable trajectory of what happens when you're in a blockbuster movie. It's just a reference point. It's not meant to be identical. They're not meant to be the same people, or not even have the exact same career. It's meant to be a reference point. Simple as that.
So far, everybody we've looked at have been in more blockbuster movies than Ms. Heard.
But Ms. Heard was also in the biggest blockbuster movie, and the light that shines on Jason Momoa will also shine on her. So you have to look at it in context of the biggest movie that DC Comics is, and also one of the biggest box office films ever, probably within the top 10, because I've looked at it, right? So that light was going to shine brighter on her than someone who wasn't in that movie. And again, it would have just helped her in her career move forward, not stalled it and be, in her world be silent afterwards.
For the jury to accept your damage analysis, they would have to agree with you that Ms. Heard was on the precipice of a meteoric rise. That's the word you used, right?
Actually, no, I didn't. I did use meteoric with someone like, let's say, Gal Gadot or Zendaya, but I actually gave you a range and gave the jury a range that they weren't all going to have a meteoric rise. Some of them would be smaller, right? And so what the numbers that I gave you do not represent a meteoric rise. A meteoric rise is when Jason Momoa goes from, I don't know, $4 million, $5 million to a $50 million payday. That's a meteoric shift in our business. But when someone has contracts that actually go from $1 million to the first one, $2 million, and then $4 million, that is standard for a franchise that is perceived to do well. And so I based those calculations on very specific numbers that were already contracted. I wanted to stay within reality and look at the numbers that were already contracted for Ms. Heard and just move out forward on one film a year, maybe a TV show here or there, and some endorsement contracts, which is very typical for an actor in our business to make that kind of money. It just is what happens.
So the example you just used is somebody went from $1 million to $2 million to $4 million. Your client has never had a contract that exceeds $2 million, correct?
Incorrect.
All right.
In the Aquaman it's actually the Justice League contract because they're associated. So Justice League, Aquaman, she was paid $1 million. Then in Aquaman 2, it was written that she was going to earn $2 million. And if there's another one, it was written in the terms that she would get $4 million. So it actually was a contract that Ms. Heard signed with the studio.
Right, but the movie hasn't been made.
Aquaman 2 hasn't.
Good night, Judy. Take care. Thank you for coming.
Come out yet, so the
Right.
third one is still on deck, as they say.
Yeah. Okay. Let's put it differently. Your client's never been paid $2 million for a movie she appeared in.
She was paid $2 million for Aquaman.
Right.
Aquaman 2.
And she's never been paid $4 million.
She was contracted to be paid, and when the movie goes, that's what she will be paid. So that's what I said. She was
If
on
she's
the
in the movie.
Right, but if Aquaman 2 does even nearly as well as Aquaman 1, there's going to most likely be a third one. So we can look at that as a precedent that was set. In writing, actually.
If a movie makes $790.
Okay, Moki. Good night to you. All right. And we're not going to be on much longer, probably, myself. But we're going to play this for a little while longer. But good night, Moki.
$5 million. You think there's likely to be a next one?
If it was the first or the second one, but if it's the fifth in the series, I assume that you're referring to Pirates 5. It performed well at the box office, yes, but certainly not in comparison to some of the other ones. And that's what a studio like Disney will look at to say, has that franchise had its run? Or do we need to change it?
A studio like Disney wants to walk away from an $800 million payday?
Well, an $800 million payday has to be put into context to the budget that it costs to get that movie and then the marketing thereafter. And with the increasing costs in not only Mr. Depp's fee or any of the, and plus the other actors' fees, plus general production costs that are getting more expensive, then you put in the marketing costs, which are sometimes 1, 2, or 3 times the budget of the film. A film like that, a studio can spend $600-800 million just making and marketing the film. So $795 million is a lot of money, and it seems like a really good box office, but you have to put into perspective of what's spent on production, marketing, and the overhead costs that the studio takes. So you have, again, it's all in context of what the budget of the film and the marketing of the film is.
All right, let's put some more things in context. Ana de Armas. That's another one you used.
Yes.
All right. She, most recently, I guess, in Deep Water with Ben Affleck.
I don't, again, I know some of the movies that she's been in. I don't remember about Deep Water. I don't even know if that's out yet,
Okay.
to be honest.
She was in the last James Bond movie.
Yes, she was.
Yeah. They were talking about making her the next female Bond, right?
Right, after her big Stars Born moment, yeah, she's gotten a lot more big roles, which is what we had hoped for Ms. Heard.
Yeah. And you said that her breakout role was Blade Runner?
It was like the first big, studio movie that got a lot of attention. I believe that was the one that we can look at as a marker for her, sure.
Did you watch Blade Runner 2049?
I did.
Do you know what she did in the movie?
It was years ago. I don't remember exactly what she was in, what role she played, but she was in that movie, and from that, her agents used that as leverage to get her more movies.
You have no knowledge that her principal role in that movie was as a gigantic naked billboard?
Are you saying that's the only thing she was? She was a gigantic naked billboard. She wasn't in the movie.
That's the principal role in that movie.
I don't remember the movie well enough to know.
Okay. And did you know that she was? I talked a little bit about Ben Affleck, right?
Right.
He's an interesting example because he's been in a role that's been recast multiple times. You know that role?
Are we talking about Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Batman.
Sure.
All right. So the title character in that DC series has seen how many actors?
Several.
Right. Michael Keaton.
He was Batman.
Val Kilmer.
You're a movie buff, yeah.
Yeah. Christian Bale was Batman.
I think he was, you're right.
George Clooney was Batman.
Definitely.
Yeah. I guess Robert Pattinson is now Batman.
Don't know.
Okay. But you're taking an absolutely iconic role that the DC universe has recast 4, 5, 6 times, correct?
Correct.
So that just because you have the role in the first movie or the second movie doesn't mean you get it in the third movie or the fourth movie.
Unless it's contractual.
Right. Unless it's contractual. So, now, let's look, Ana de Armas, she's like the new Marilyn Monroe on Netflix too, right?
I believe so. She was also in Knives Out, which is probably even a bigger breakout role for her. But again, I chose Blade Runner because it's a similar thing. You have to start somewhere. But Knives Out probably was her big moment in time.
Yeah. All right. The other person you picked was Chris Pine. Chris Pine is in a superhero movie, Wonder Woman.
He is in Wonder Woman. He's also, well, Star Trek being a blockbuster, but not necessarily a superhero, right?
Yeah. He was in both Wonder Woman movies, right?
Yes, he plays the love interest to Gal Gadot, yeah.
Yeah. On Star Trek, in the Star Trek franchise, he plays Captain Kirk, right?
I don't remember exact role that he played. I didn't see it in the movie. I just know from his resume, to be honest.
Do you know who Captain Kirk is?
Yes, I do.
Right.
Well,
but you didn't know that Chris Pine is Captain Kirk in Star Trek?
I hate to say I'm not a Star Trek fan.
Okay. But you used Mr. Pine as an example, irrespective of the fact you didn't even know he starred in this franchise film?
I did know that he starred. That's why I used it. Again,
in fact, he was the most prominent person in the movie.
We can go over this a couple more times, and I'm happy to do so. All I wanted to do was look at, from a small pool of people that have been in huge franchise movies or superhero movies, and give you a sense of what the range is or what someone's trajectory can be. Again, they are not apples and apples. They're not both green apples or both red apples. I just was looking at a range. It's what we do. It's what we do in the industry. It's what you do to kind of get a sense of how much you're going to pay an actor, what they're worth in the foreign markets and the domestic markets.
Ma'am, I think my question was, did you know whether he was in Star Trek?
Yes, and you were asking me why I chose him, which is what this conversation is about. And again, I chose him because he was part of Star Trek and Wonder Woman, but mostly because he was in Wonder Woman. And I don't know the exact time frame of which came first, but the fact that he's in both of them is consistent with what actors of this ilk tend to do once they're in a movie like this.
But you talked about breakout roles, but you don't know which was his breakout role.
Chris Pine's been an actor. He's been a well-liked actor. He was in both Star Trek and in Wonder Woman. And
Did a
Star
movie
Trek,
with Denzel Washington?
Pardon?
Did a movie with Denzel Washington?
He's had a good career.
Yeah, great career.
Yeah.
Yeah, much longer career than Ms. Hurt, right?
She was on the precipice of a great career.
Yeah.
She hasn't had the chance to negotiate for that yet or be in those movies yet, so we don't know yet.
We're getting back to precipice. Didn't you just deny precipice a few minutes ago? I thought your testimony was she was on the precipice of meteoric rise. You said, I guess.
I didn't say meteoric. I said consistent. I don't know. She could have a meteoric rise, but I was talking about consistent with Ms. Hurd.
All right. So of the actors you selected, 2 of them are the title characters in their DC movies. One
is Aquaman. Who's the other title character?
Gal Gadot.
Wonder Woman, right. She's Wonder Woman. And you mean Jason Momoa, sure. Yeah.
So you get 2 title characters, you got James Kirk, and those are the people that you thought were most representative of Ms. Heard.
Again, there are not that many in the pool to pick from. I'm not going to put comparable actors that haven't been in either large, what we call tentpole movies, or franchise movies, or superhero movies. So I wanted to work within those parameters, and that's what I did. So those are the actors I chose, yes. And to
One of the actors you chose had a much longer TV career than Ms. Heard.
again, they were all in superhero or franchise movies that did very, very well at the box office.
And there are tons of actors and actresses who are in superhero movies that don't have meteoric rises thereafter, correct?
Not when they're the lead character with Jason Momoa, but to your point, there are many actors that have no career prior to a breakout role and then have a meteoric career and have had no career prior. So you don't always just look at the past. It's helpful, and with Ms. Heard, she had good reviews, so that's what I looked at. But if you look at other actors and they have their first role and all of a sudden they become a superstar from one role. So that happens in our business. It just does.
All right. With respect to your comparable actors, you have no personal knowledge as to how much any of them were compensated over the period you reviewed.
Incorrect.
You have personal knowledge as to who?
Jason Momoa.
And you derive that personal knowledge from talking to somebody?
Yes.
He didn't tell you.
His agent did.
Okay. So what you will rely on what Mr. Momoa's agent told you, but you have no knowledge. You didn't see the contract.
No, his agent is at William Morris as well, so they told me that.
Right. And you've never seen anybody else's contracts as to what they were making.
No, but in 25 years of being in this business, I understand the basis of which actors are paid when they're in blockbuster films and then they're in large budgeted studio films. So it's not a leap to kind of understand where the actor's making. And again, I really didn't want to try to be speculative in my analysis. I wanted to work with the numbers that Amber had contracted for already and just take it from there and said if she had done one movie a year and one series and done product endorsement, that's how I got to the number. So I wasn't looking to take her on a meteoric rise. I wasn't looking to give her the same career as Jason Momoa. I took her numbers that her agents had actually negotiated and worked from there.
When you say you weren't trying to give her the same career as Jason Momoa, the TV program that she most recently did, The Stand, she made $200,000 an episode. That's what you testified to.
Correct.
And in your damage analysis, you give her $1 million an episode had the Waldman statements not occurred. And you do it only because you believe Mr. Momoa has gotten that in something that he's in.
Right.
So you are giving her the same career as Jason Momoa.
Well, again, with someone like Ms. Heard, who is in a negotiate for her on other projects. So I got some of that information from her management team directly.
So her agents were looking to get her as much money as possible?
I think that's the job of an agent. They usually try to get the most money as possible.
Your testimony is they were looking to get the money for her, but You need somebody willing to pay on the other side of that deal, don't you?
Right, but agents are working with people in the industry and have a pulse on have a finger on a pulse of what's going on, so they know who's marketable and what the prices that all the streamers are paying these days.
You haven't seen a single one of the endorsement contracts that you referenced, other than Ms. Heard's?
No, other than, again, what I was talking to William Morris in terms of the pricing that they are aware of, not only for their own clients, but what's out in the marketplace, and it's pretty consistent. And I've also worked with other actors on other cases that have gotten similar contracts, so I'm familiar with the rates of endorsement contracts.
You haven't made any reference to the actual earnings of any of these actors.
Again, as you do an analysis, you put together the numbers that you know from both your experience and the marketplace and the agents that are working in the marketplace. So together, that's how I created those numbers, and mostly using Ms. Heard's numbers specifically and giving her a very steady career, which is what she had had prior to Aquaman.
Yeah, and you don't have the prior earnings of any of the actors you looked at other than Ms. Heard's.
No, I don't have all the contracts now.
You don't have any of that information.
I'm sorry?
You don't have any of that information?
No.
Okay. In fact, that information, I guess aside from Mr. Momoa's, is confidential, right?
Usually it is, yes.
Yeah. And the only reason you know anything about Mr. Momoa is that Ms. Heard shares an agent? Or an
Right,
agency?
but look, I've also been in the industry for many years, and I know what actors get paid. I talk about budgets constantly, so it's not a secret within the industry the amount that actors in those types of movies are paid very, very well.
You're not currently working as an agent for anyone, are you?
No.
All right. So, the salaries of these comparable actors, did they form some basis for your opinion?
No.
Okay. So your opinion, as I understand it, is that Ms. Heard should have been able to renegotiate an existing contract.
Which is standard in the industry as well as with her agent specifically.
Do you know if it's standard with Warner Brothers?
I'm sorry?
Do you know if it's standard with Warner Brothers?
I don't know if it's standard at any of the studios, but it is standard for agents to renegotiate, and oftentimes are successful when the film is done so well.
Right, but what you're talking about is there's an existing contract where Ms. Heard has made a promise that she will do the next movie for, in this instance, $2 million, right?
Right.
And what the agent is trying to do is to get Warner Brothers to say, hey, you should pay her more than your contract says because you like her?
Well, as Ms. Kovacevic said, also, it's standard in the industry. As again, I've been in the industry, I've worked with agents, and I've worked with lots of lawyers, and we have conversations about what is an actor getting, or what can they do, or what are they going to do the next time. So again, it's a standard in practice in the industry, especially when a film is as successful as Aquaman, that the agents will go back and renegotiate. In fact, that was conversation.
Isn't the standard practice is that they would try to renegotiate, but it's up to the studio?
Sure, but oftentimes in a movie of such as the nature of Aquaman, they're very successful, usually.
But the entirety of your analysis assumes a renegotiation with a studio for terms that are double what the studio had already got a promise from Ms. Heard she would work for.
Correct.
Have you talked to Walter Hamada?
Have I spoken to him?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Do you know who he is?
Yes.
Who is he?
He's a senior executive at Warner Brothers, or Yeah, I think he still is there, but certainly at the time of the renegotiation was a senior executive.
And do you know whether he's the president of DC-based film productions?
I think that's exactly his title, yeah.
Yeah. Who's in a better position to determine whether Warner Brothers would renegotiate, you or Mr. Hamada?
Again, I based this on the agents that were talking to Warner Brothers about Mr. Momoa, and they were wanting to talk to them about Ms. Heard as well.
Okay, I'm not
So
sure.
I based my information on them. So the connection should be Mr. Hamada or the agents, not Mr. Hamada and me.
All right. Who's in a better position to know whether Warner Brothers would renegotiate?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
Just asking.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Do you review any testimony from Mr. Hamada?
I did.
Did you understand that Mr. Hamada says that they want to hold the lawyers, hold the actors to their deals?
That was a philosophy that he said Warner Brothers had, yes.
Yeah. Did you understand that Mr. Hamada said that nothing Mr. Depp did impacted her compensation?
I don't remember that part of the testimony. You have it available for me to read?
Yeah. You don't know whether Mr. Hamada testified. Did anything Mr. Depp said about Amber Heard affect her compensation?
Again, I don't
remember.
I don't recall that testimony. No.
Hancock witness.
Do you know whether Mr. Hamada indicated whether he even knew who Adam Waldman was?
Again, I don't remember the conversation about Hamada and Waldman or Depp.
And you don't remember whether Mr. Hamada made any statements as to whether anything Mr. Waldman said affected Ms. Heard's compensation?
In my experience, studios don't talk about how or why they make decisions based on publicity or conversations. They're not going to try. They're going to be very protective of all their relationships. So that's just natural.
Yeah, unless you can get him to testify under oath at a deposition, right?
Well, even so, they're not going to say anything negative. They may bypass it by being positive, but they're not going to do anything that could potentially damage a relationship that may change or be worthwhile in the future. So that's just what a studio person does.
Mr. Hamada is in the best position to determine whether there were chemistry issues with Ms. Heard.
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
He's the president of the company.
Overruled.
I don't know how involved Mr. Hamada was on a daily basis in terms of chemistry, but I do know that Warner Brothers did a chemistry test with Ms. Heard and Mr. Momoa before she even got the role. She went in and did what they call a chemistry test. So that was to actually see whether there was good chemistry between them. And evidently there was good chemistry because she was then hired to be the romantic interest. So whatever Mr. Hamada said during his deposition, I look at what actually happened in real life, which is she got the chemistry test and then she got the job.
Yeah, let's look what happened in real life. She went in before and took the test. Then she made a movie. Then there was an existing movie under which Warner Brothers could then decide whether there was chemistry, right?
The movie worked. It made over $1 billion, and they're all over the poster. If they didn't think that there was chemistry, they wouldn't have put Ms. Heard on the poster next to Mr. Momoa. So,
you know there were multiple posters for the Aquaman movie.
Yes, there always are. That's standard.
And that 3 out of the 4 posters, the standard posters for Aquaman, didn't even feature Ms. Heard.
Right. So when you make a poster at the studio, it's normal to have 3 or 4 variations because you want to appeal to different people's perspectives. So you want the romantic poster, you want the action poster, you want the superhero poster. So it's normal for them to have many posters, but the romantic poster was of Ms. Heard and Mr. Momoa.
Right, and all the others are just of Mr. Momoa.
Like we talked about, it's Aquaman, but she was prominent in the ones that Warner Brothers wanted to appeal to women and to the romantic interest of the consumer.
Right. What movies would Ms. Heard have gotten absent Mr. Waldman's statements?
Well, the ones we know about specifically that she was in conversations with was a movie with Gail Garcelle Bernal, I believe that's how you say his name, at Amazon, which is what Ms. Kovacevic said. And she was also in consideration for a movie called Ambulance with Michael Bay. But again, after the Waldman statements, nobody would talk to the agents, and so they weren't able to garner more. Oh, she also had a movie that she was interested in producing that a good friend of hers, or a friend of hers or colleague was doing. So there was at least those three that I read about.
Those were 3 movies that she was being considered for, but you don't know what movie she was going to be in.
Well, again, they stopped the conversation after the statement, so we don't know where they would have gone, of course. But she was in consideration for all of them, and given her fame from Aquaman, that would have helped all those movies. So it would have made a lot of sense.
You're projecting movies way out into the future that you have no knowledge would ever have gotten made.
Well, that's what we do when you talk about comparables and economic damages. You talk about the future. That's standard in our industry as a forensic expert and in the industry. That's how movies are financed, as a matter of fact, is by forecasting what happens in the future.
What connection do you draw between Mr. Waldman's statements and the reported reduction in Ms. Heard's Aquaman 2 role?
Again, it's just it's the timing of it all. It's the timing of it all. And also, they were going to take her out of the movie after the statements, and then they put her back in. And then can I talk about the emails that I read? I'm not sure at this point, but.
So, when you say they were going to take her out of the movie, when you have an option, you literally have the option whether to include the actress, right? That's what it means.
Correct.
Right. So they can choose to exercise the option or not exercise the option. Entirely up to them.
Correct.
And they have, that particular studio, to your knowledge, has repeatedly recast even major figures in their DC movies.
We talked about Batman.
What about Superman?
You know, I'm not. I think I'm more familiar with the Batman actors. I think there have been a couple actors of Superman, but depending on how the movie performed, if a movie doesn't perform, they'll look for other actors. Or if they want to go a different direction or reboot a franchise, they will look at different actors. So if the movie's successful, they're not likely to change the actors, especially not in the second one or the third one.
Another reason they'll look for a different actor or actress, if the actor or actress is charged or asking too much money to play the role again, correct?
Yes, not in figures under $10 million, but yes.
Yeah, if you're asking for too much money, you might not get your role again. And your analysis assumes that Ms. Heard could double her money.
Well, her contracts doubled her money from each one to the next, so it wasn't that large a leap to do that, especially when the agents had told me that that was what had been they were considering and what they'd been discussing.
All right. You seen the script of Aquaman 2?
Personally?
Yeah.
I did see a draft. I don't know what the date was or when it was or where in the succession of the rewrites it was. I did see one draft, yes.
You don't know what Warner Brothers has in mind for that movie in terms of the kind of movie it's going to be?
It's a superhero movie.
Right. It's supposed to be like a buddy comedy, right?
I don't know. I don't know about a buddy comedy. It's an action movie, superhero movie. I don't know.
Who's Patrick Wilson?
Patrick Wilson. I've heard that name in terms of an actor, but I don't know Mr. Wilson.
All right. Do you know if he appears in Aquaman?
Again, I don't know him by name. If you want to show me a picture, I can, or a clip from the movie.
All right. Do you know if Mr. Wilson appears more frequently in Aquaman than your client does?
Neptune makes
I didn't count the screen time when I watched the movie. It was a long, even when I watched it again, I didn't count the screen time of anybody else.
Did you read the testimony of Mr. Hamada?
We discussed that, yes.
You disregarded all of it in your analysis as to her ability to renegotiate, correct?
Well, I remember the part where Mr. Hamada said that from time to time they will break their philosophy and renegotiate. It's what they did with Jason Momoa and with Gal Gadot. So, it coincides with what we know in the industry, which is it can be done.
It's what they did with the two title characters in the DC universe.
Again, I've worked in the business for a long time, and I've seen a lot of actors renegotiate their careers. I'm sorry, not their careers, renegotiate their fees. It's common practice. And it's certainly what the agent will think about first when a movie makes $1 billion+.
Right. Again, focused on the agent, but it's the studio that pays the bills.
Yes.
All right. All right. Your Honor, I have a fair amount more to do.
Continue.
I'm sorry?
Continue.
Okay. I didn't know if we were going to 5:30 today or not.
Every day is 5:30 day.
Okay. No, we may not even need to get there.
Every day is 5:30 day.
All right. Perfect. All right. You talked about Ms. Heard's endorsement deal with L'Oreal.
Yes.
And that L'Oreal has concerns about using her because every time they try to use her, people respond negatively to her.
People don't. The Depp fan base has responded, have posted negative things about Ms. Heard on their campaigns.
So, did you say the Depp fan base?
Well, people that were using the hashtags that were consistent with the rest of the Depp fan base.
Yeah, but there are people posting negative things that, other than things that came from Mr. Waldman, correct?
I haven't seen all of them. I was just looking at what L'Oreal discussed and what L'Oreal said in their communications.
All right. They made. Do you see L'Oreal make a word cloud of the words that were most commonly associated with Ms. Heard in its marketing campaigns?
I knew they did that. I didn't see it myself, actually.
Right. Do you know what words there were?
Again, no.
Okay. You didn't talk much about this, but in order to get to the damage analysis that you got, the $45 million, I think at least initially you suggested that Ms. Heard would have a role producing and starring in a movie, and that she would make $12 million.
I've talked about that, but in the latest calculation, that was really less what I considered and more about what films and TV and endorsement deals that she would do. The producing was something that she had wanted to do, and again, Mr. Momoa got that, so that's where the agents were discussing those figures with me.
The last movie that she has a production credit for is in 2013, right?
Again, I haven't memorized her resume.
It was a movie called Syrup. Did you ever hear of it?
No. Aside from having probably seen it on her IMDb.
And Soon the Darkness, that's her other production credit, right?
If you say so. If you're reading it off of her resume, I will believe you, yes.
2010?
Okay.
All right. 12 years ago. But you, at least at some point in this analysis, were of the mind that she would recover $12 million with a producing role and a starring role in a movie? Because that's what Mr. Momoa got.
Again, the agents were just saying that those were the kinds of numbers they were looking at to help her as she moved forward in her producing career.
Right. those are the kind of the numbers the agents would like her to get.
Right, but again, I didn't use that in the final analysis of my 45 million. So it was just a discussion point because that's what the agents wanted me to consider.
All right. All right. You have testified that the breakout role for Miss Heard was Aquaman, right?
I didn't say the breakout role, but I used it as a movie that it was a superhero kind of super box office success. I think that, some of her other critically acclaimed movies probably helped her break into that role, which would have been The Danish Girl, and then her work in Justice League, which was a natural progression to getting to star in Aquaman.
All right, but I used breakout, perhaps you didn't, but this is the movie that springboards her to the kind of money that you are suggesting she should earn.
It should have, yes.
Yeah. And other than Aquaman, which was released in 2018, how many movies has she booked?
Well, she booked Aquaman 2.
Right.
And she did The Stand, which was a significant television show.
Right. But outside of the Aquaman franchise, she obtained only one movie role, since 2018, right?
Right. The industry also knows that she's planned to be on the next movie, and they understand her production schedule, so she's not going to go after films that would conflict with a mega box office movie. So there's scheduling and conflict issues as well that she and her team would consider.
So when was Aquaman released in 2018? It's December.
It was either December 2018 and then it depends on where it was in the world. It was started in December 2018 and then it moved out, into 2019.
How many months between December 2018 and the Waldman statements went by?
12, I think 15 or 16 if my math is correct.
Right. She got one role during that 15 or 16 month period during the entirety of the post-Aquaman boost, right?
She got Stand.
Right.
And then she was in discussions for the films as they were getting ready to go.
But she didn't get another role for 16 months between the release of Aquaman and what you say are the Waldman statements.
Well, she got The Stand.
Right. She got one TV role.
A pretty significant TV role, yes, for a Stephen King novel.
Right. She was in a movie, though.
I'm sorry?
She was in a movie that was released after Aquaman.
What movie are you referring to?
Gully.
Oh, well, I don't know when that was shot, so you'd have to tell me when it was shot. Movies get released at different time frames. Like they can be shot in 2016 and not get released till 2018. So you'd have to tell me. We'd have to look at the actual filming dates of the Gully for me to talk to you about that.
She wasn't initially cast in Gully, was she?
I'm not familiar with the casting process of Gully.
All right. Do you know who Alice Eve is?
Who?
Alice Eve.
Alice Eve. Sounds familiar, but I'm not recalling who she is.
She's an actress, been in any number of movies.